Good afternoon as it is here in Colorado, and welcome to the penultimate final of the IFSC 2018 Boulder World Cup season, live from Vail. In stark contrast to last weekend's venue of Tokyo, Vail is nestled deep in the Colorado mountains, 2 hours west of Denver. The town itself sits at over 8,000 feet and houses 5,000 residents, plus Colorado's largest ski mountain. This year is the IFSC's 11th consecutive visit to Vail, and it's always a popular event with climbers and spectators alike. Hello, welcome back, I'm Charlie Bosco. Delighted to say that for the third year running here in Vail, I've got Ahmed Torre alongside me. Ahmed, it's our third year working together here.
Yeah.
It's your 8th visit here, and the IFSC's 11th visit to Vail. It's a pretty special World Cup, isn't it?
Oh, Vail is probably the most fun World Cup as far as I'm concerned. I've been to a few. We've done ARCO together. There's something special about Vail. It's the only one here in the U.S. Perfect venue, great weather, like not too hot, not too cold, really, really dry. Great for the finals, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and conditions pretty good. It's not quite as hot as yesterday.
No, not a little. Yeah, a little cooler.
Easy for us to say in our now shaded gazebo tent. The sun is incredibly fierce here in Vail. Luckily for the athletes, the sun stays off the wall. One thing that they can't avoid is the altitude, though. A few people really suffering with it, including one or two members of the media team, I might add. We're at over 8,000 feet, 2,500 meters for Europeans.
That altitude sickness will creep up on you quick, real quick.
It's definitely going to be a factor. The only finalist today that wasn't in Tokyo is Alex Puccio of the USA. Everyone else was in Tokyo, 15 hours time difference away and 3,000 meters lower just last Sunday.
I'm just talking with some of the athletes already, like, some of the ones that didn't make it in the finals, it definitely affected them at least a little bit. So it's really interesting to see these finalists up right now, not letting it bother them.
And there is your starting order. Apologies for the scores. I don't think we have any scores yet, unless they know something we don't. But they will be your 6 starters. See if we can get that back up again.
See, the thing I love about Vail, like, look at that crowd. I never really see, like, in the U.S. at least, like, that many spectators for one World Cup event or any climbing event whatsoever. So just to see all these, like, veterans who have been here every single year, like me, and then just some of the fresh faces that just walk through Vail Village and stop by, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on over there?" It's like, that's a World Cup. You want to take it up?
Just won a new fan for the sport.
Yep.
Speaking of fresh faces, Alma Bestvater and Kyra Conley, the first 2 climbers out in the women's final. Only their second final appearance for both of them. Miho Nanaka, Fanny Gilbert, Akio Noguchi and Alex Puccio slightly further along the spectrum of experience. All serious contenders. And in the men's final, 4 Japanese climbers, Ryuichi Murai, Tomoaki Takata, Rei Sugimoto and Tomoe Narasaki. And joining them, the USA's Sean Bailey, appearing in his first final and climbing last, having qualified first in the semi-final, Yerne Kruder. Currently leading the overall standings narrowly, Yerne, from Tomoe. It won't be decided today, but whoever finishes higher in today's final will be extremely well placed in the overall rankings going into the last World Cup of the year, a couple of months from now in Munich. So we'll have an athlete presentation of the male climbers, then we'll have the men's final, and then the women will observe their boulders, be presented to the crowd, and we'll have the women's final. So plenty coming up here, and there you can see the wall in Vail. It's a relatively narrow wall, but it's quite high, quite an unusual shape. Lots of different angles and corners for the route setters to play with. And we were up on the mats earlier on, and I think they're going to put on quite a show.
And lots of different holds and volumes up on the wall, lots of blocks, motivation, cheetah. We got a smorgasbord of volumes and holds there, man. It's great.
Yeah, and we got on the far left the Magala holds.
Yep.
Half wood, really unusual looking holds. The route setters were provided with a lot of choice to use. And judging by the qualifying round and the semi-finals, we should be in for a pretty spectacular show. So
very exciting.
These are the 6 male finalists. Ryuichi Murai of Japan. We don't see him in that many World Cups. It's his first final. That was Tomoaki Takata. Second final for him of 2018. He was 5th in Meiringen back in April. There's Rei Sugimoto, been having a great season. Claimed a bronze medal a week ago in Japan.
And the U.S. giving mad love to Sean Bailey right now.
Yeah, Sean Bailey appearing in his first Boulder World Cup final. He has been in lead World Cup finals, but this is his first time appearing in a Boulder World Cup final. Tomoe Narasaki, 2016 World Cup overall champion, makes his way onto the stage. He could win the title again this year as well, but if he's going to, he's got to meet this man.
And here comes Jerne.
Jerne Kruder currently leading the standings overall. Him and the man to his right, our left, Tomoe Narasaki, are battling it out for the overall title. All 6 of these men battling it out for the World Cup win in Vail. So before we bring you the final, let's have a quick look at the highlights from the men's semi-final. Slovenia's Jerne Kruder is having the season of his life and continued his amazing year in the Vail semi-finals. He topped boulders 1, 2 and 4, making him only the 4th climber to do number 4 and the only competitor to top 3 boulders. He's currently leading the overall standings for the season and will be tough to stop in the finals. Tomoe Narasaki, one of 4 Japanese men into the final, has won at most IFSC venues, but not Vail. His 2 tops in the semi-finals secured him a place in the final, but can he convert that into a win? We'll find out shortly. Sean Bailey, the USA, previously only appeared in one Boulder World Cup semi-final before, and that was in Vail last year. In 2018, he went one better, cruising into the final with 2 tops of the first 2 boulders being enough to get him through in 3rd place. He couldn't quite get Boulder 4 done, but by then it didn't matter. He'd already qualified for the final. Sugimoto is having a great season. The podium last week in Japan and no finish lower than 12th over the entire year. He did Boulder 4, which stopped many climbers, and also did Boulder 3 to advance to finals despite poor starts to the semi-finals on the first couple of Boulder World Cup. And Ryuichi Murai will be the first climber out.
All right.
Here he comes.
Here we go. First boulder. Let's check this out. Very interesting first move there.
Yeah, the men starting on the right-hand side of the wall here.
Yeah, very interesting coordination move going on here. It seems if you're long enough, you could just reach it and like keep the foot, but I don't know. Ooh, almost. Almost. A little bit of bite, and I think he'll have it.
Got 4 minutes to get this done. It is 4 minutes flat. So if you get timed out 1 millimeter from the top, you are out of time.
There he goes again.
Okay, lining it
Come
up
on.
again. Tricky first move out to the right.
It does seem that he needs to bite just a little bit harder on that left hand. Seems to be getting only 2, maybe like a little bit of the 3rd digit in there. Those holds are pretty textured, pretty sharp, so maybe a few more, a go or 2, and he will stick.
We were up on the mats just before the final got underway, chatting to the route setters. They put on quite a show with this boulder, and the last move is one of the toughest as well.
Exactly. I'm not sure if our audience members can see it, but that blocks volume on the very top is actually dual tech. So up on the very top, there's a little like white space, and that is very, very slick. So even if they do catch that, and there he goes, catching the first dyno. All right, so let's see if this move gives him any surprise. Not hard, but Yes, all right.
So he's onto the zone. Now
Come
he's
on.
mantle up, get that right foot where his right hand is.
So yes, he is hesitating with that foot. I'm sure he would like to put that foot up there and pull. However, that's not so great with those dual textures.
Where his right hand is very low friction, so
Exactly.
it's very, very difficult for him to get a foot up. And he went to the top, and can be done that way. Certainly easier if you can get a foot up.
I agree. I think if he wants this one, he's going to need to get his right foot up just to the right of the volume, so that very large rectangular blocks volume. If he gets just on the side, right in between that triangular one, I think he can just place his foot, press down, and he'll stick it. Let's see what happens. I suppose if you're real bold, you could take your chances with the slick texture.
1 minute to go for Ryoichi Murai.
Taking a pretty cautious approach to the first move here.
First of 4 Japanese men in today's final. They're an extraordinarily strong force in climbing. Here he goes. He got that move last time.
He did. He seems. It just seems like he's going a little bit more horizontal than vertical. He is making those little micro adjustments, but it is very low percentage, that move. And that will be it.
So zone for Ryoichi, but no top. So next out will be his compatriot Tomoaki Takata. Just faces the crowd until his 4 minutes officially starts. There's the buzzer. He's underway.
And Tomoaki is a little taller. He might have a little bit of an easier time with this first move.
Spectacular first attempt. Took Ryoichi 4 goes to get to the zone hold. If you're watching climbing for the first time, there's the top hold, which is where all the climbers are aiming for, but if they don't make it, there's an intermediate hold called the zone hold, which will also score for them. Ryoichi, previous climber, got to the zone hold on his 4th attempt. Tomoaki, as yet, hasn't got there.
That was some interesting beta switching there. Trying to go for the far right hold and catch the blocks volume over to the right. The bottom of that volume is textured, I believe.
Yeah, the bottom is, top isn't.
Not a bad plan, but I do think that that first little Gaston catch, I think that is the way to go. We'll see if he agrees.
Just ignore that clock bottom right, by the way. There is not 3 minutes left for Tomoaki. Imagine there's around 1 minute 30. We'll hear the beeps when there's 1 minute to go.
And Tomoaki going back to that initial beta that he started off on. I do think if he really bites back on those holds and commits to the move, we'll see at least another zone, maybe a top.
There he goes.
Come on,
again.
there it is. There it is.
This time he makes it work.
All
You
right.
can see the zone hold. It's that red one right at the top of your screen.
All right, there it is.
He's got his right hand on the zero friction
And
volume.
he's got the zone. Let's see what he does here. Can he get that foot up? There it is.
Could be about to see our first top here.
Yeah. And again, that foot that he is on right now is incredibly slick. Pardon.
decides to
Yep.
reset.
Not much time left, but he is close. Let's see what he gets. Oh!
Lunge for the top. Just short. That's the buzzer sounding to tell us there's 1 minute left to go.
All right.
It's a timer factor now. You can see him breathing hard. We mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. We're at 8,500 feet, 2,500 meters-ish. And the recovery is so much harder.
All right.
And having got that move the last time, I wonder if he hasn't quite had time to recover. Doesn't seem to be able to repeat it. Interesting, I think the route setters expected this boulder to go slightly quicker.
Yeah, and yeah, a lot more predictions of like tops, honestly, for this problem. I knew the zone might, would probably get a lot of action. However, the top seems a little harder than anticipated.
Route setting team here in Vail, led by Great Britain's Jamie Cassidy. Really strong team. Done a great job so far. But they haven't had a top of their first men's boulder yet. Here comes Rei Sugimoto. 6 days after he picked up a bronze medal in his home country of Japan, in Hachioji on the outskirts of Tokyo, he climbs here in the mountains of Colorado.
Oh, and making quick work of that first move. I think we might see our first top here.
Got the jump first time.
Yeah.
We've seen our previous two climbers really struggle with that first move, and he flies up to the zone.
All right.
Zone on his first attempt. Right
All
foot's
right,
in place.
committing.
Just needs
Let's
to
see.
lever himself up.
Nice.
Rei Sugimoto, first top of the final here in Vail.
With the flash, very good.
Yeah, first go. Amazing start to the final for Rei Sugimoto. Let's have another look from a slightly different angle. Once his right hand landed, there was no doubt. It's a pretty tiny hold by real standards, but by World Cup final standards, it's pretty acceptable.
Yep, trusting that heel was definitely the way to go. It is, I mean, the texture is not great at all, but if you can trust that foot and keep going, get to that pocket, you're good to go. All right, let's see if Sean can make quick work of this problem as well.
First of three American climbers we're going to see in today's final, Alex Puccio and Kyra Condi being the other ones. This is his first Boulder World Cup final.
Sean's got a bunch of Americans cheering for him over here. It's going to get really loud in a second. Nice, Sean. All right.
Gets the jump done first time. Sean Bailey had an amazing semi-final, flashed the first two boulders in the semi-final. And he's made a pretty decent start to the final as well. He'll go with the right hand first.
All right, reevaluating.
He is reevaluating. It looks an awful long way to the top of that volume. We've seen the other climbers all get there from this position. But Sean just choosing to compose himself before he goes. Now he commits. The right hand lands.
There it is.
And there's the left hand. And needs to get a foot up on top of this volume where his right hand is.
Oh.
Or does he?
Let's see if he just mantles and sticks it. That is incredibly slick. So the sweat will not help. There's the heel.
Now he
Come on,
leaves himself
Sean.
up. You need incredible strength.
Keeping that flat. And there's our second flash of the day. Very good. Come on, Sean.
Great start from Sean Bailey of the USA in front of his home crowd. It's his first final. He's topped his first boulder on his first attempt. Let's have another look. This was the jump. Perfect timing.
Again, just really committing to that heel hook, and it's over. That pocket does seem a lot deeper than I originally anticipated. I thought it would be a little shallower.
So here's Tomoa Narasaki. In 2016, it seemed like he couldn't be beaten. 2017 wasn't quite his year. 2018 could be his year yet. He's already won a World Cup this year.
He's got a very clean run so far.
And he's absolutely flying up this first boulder.
Everybody seems to want to be... Oh, wow. And that is the first mantle beta we saw that worked. Fantastic, very strong.
So our first 2 climbers couldn't do the boulder. The last 3 have got it first go, flashed it. Yone Kruder behind the wall, the last climber out, will be well aware what's going on. He'll know that the last 3 climbers haven't been on the wall long.
I got to give it to the route setters on this one. It's a pretty good spread.
Got to match that top hold with both hands. Tomoa celebrating early. Always makes me nervous when climbers do that. He got it done. Here's Yone Kruder lining up the jump. Doesn't get it that time.
Little hesitant on there, but I think he felt the holds, and I know he can pull on that.
What an amazing season he's having. Yone Kruder won his first ever Boulder World Cup in Meiringen back in April. And since then he's had 3 more second places. Hachioji last Sunday was the first final he's missed. And he's making a pretty good start to the final here in Vail. This is his second go. We've seen it done first time by the previous 3 climbers.
Oh.
And he went with the left hand before he got his foot up. We saw Tomoa Narasaki do it that way.
And again, that volume up top is incredibly slick. So even an inch like slipping, you're coming right off.
Just under 3 minutes left for Yone.
Taking his time. He does seem like he has this boulder.
I'm pretty sure he feels he can do it, yeah. It's going to be his 3rd go at best. He's just got to find a way of levering himself up to that top hold.
Exactly.
It requires extreme hip flexibility. And if you've got any doubt about your ability to do it that way, you might have to find an alternative method.
I do think, if I had to guess, I think he would try it again. He is tall enough to pull off that mantle beta. That heel hook might be a little bit harder if he doesn't have it, or if his hips aren't open enough. And there he goes, getting to the zone again quite easily.
What method will he use here? Will he just leap from low down?
There it is, all right. Let's see if he can flatten that foot out. No.
Ah, you can see how much force is going through that hip, and he instantly grabs the back of his leg.
Exactly.
Glutes, hip flexors.
And again, since he is taller, that is going to be a harder move to pull off. So if he tries that again, as long as he gets that foot flat, I think he'll get it. But as you can see, it's still, pressed up against the wall, kind of blocking him.
It's such a difficult move. You've got to you need the foot up there to leave you up.
Exactly.
But by the same token, having your foot there is pushing you away from the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Tomoa Narasaki didn't need his foot up there, but we'll see what method Yone chooses this time. He's tried a couple of ways.
All right, let's see it.
So he's got the jump, no problem.
All right, come on.
So no problem again up to the zone. He's been here a couple of times already, and we've seen a couple of different methods from him trying to progress.
Going for the mantle again. Let's see. Nope. Not quite stalled. Wow.
Yone Kruder.
It's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, that is a surprise. After 3 climbers made pretty light work of it, he still looks like he's having fun.
That's right. That's what it's all about.
I think one of the reasons the public like watching Yone so much is you can tell he just enjoys himself.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, he's competing for the overall World Cup title, but you wouldn't know it from his body language and his whole demeanor.
That goofy grin. I love it. I love it. That's exactly what climbing's all about. So, come out here, try your best, have a good time, see all your friends. Nothing better.
And you saw it there on the scores. 3 climbers flashed the boulder, got it first go. 3 climbers only got as far as the zone. So we'll move on to the second boulder. Men's 2 will be up those red holes. Pretty physical boulder. There's a move at the top that is really going to test the shoulder power and flexibility of the athletes to move from the zone to the hold above it.
Talking to the route setters, it looks like there's going to be a massive cross going on there, and a very low percentage. While that pocket is very deep, if you miss it, you're spitting off the wall, guaranteed.
Waruichi Murai just waiting for his turn to come out again.
So the first boulder, we had a pretty good mix of like power and coordination moves going on at first, and then immediately switching to a more technical like style up at the top. However, this boulder, it's pretty physical the whole way through. Doesn't seem that difficult to read, but after you read it, you're like, oh man, I got to do all that?
Yeah, we mentioned it a couple of times already, but altitude really will change the tactics of the climbers here. You can't recover quite as well, and as you say, on a long boulder like this, where there's a lot of moves, a lot of very powerful moves, I don't think we'll see quite as many attempts as you might expect at sea level.
I think that people are going to be a little bit more cautious with this boulder, you're right, and make each attempt count. Especially if it's just men's number 2. Like, they need the energy to do the other problems.
Yeah, on number 4, you can just go for it a bit more.
Right.
Safe in the knowledge that you'll be done, but it's early days still in the final.
A lot more commitment going on with this boulder.
So Rairuichi, no problem. Oh,
there,
and
getting the zone. There we go.
Looks as if he's just got 2 fingers in that zone.
All right, let's see if he gets it.
That is the powerful move.
Exactly.
Up with the left hand.
And again, that is a very deep pocket. Once you get in there, it's not so bad. But getting to it in the first place is very difficult.
I think he was definitely contemplating trying to match the zone.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But I think pretty quickly realized it wouldn't really be possible.
It's going to be interesting to see who really cranks on that heel and goes at that pocket maybe a little slower, and those who just kind of shoot out for it and see if they can do it the more powerful way.
Well, no doubt how long he's got left.
Still got time.
There
yeah,
he
just taking his time with it. Again, like you said, the elevation, I'm sure that's getting to him a little bit.
He's composing himself before his next go. He's got the method right, but knowing how to do something and actually being able to do it, 2 very different things.
Exactly.
So again, up towards the zone. This time he just misses. It was pretty close when he went the first time. This time he just overshot it, I think.
He pressed a little bit outwards too. All right, still got some time. Can maybe get one more good attempt in, perhaps a second.
Yeah, he's got 1 minute 40 left on the clock.
Yeah. All right, getting back on it. All right, moving through this section a little quicker. There we go. Okay.
So now 3rd go.
Nice. Being a little bit more precise, I think he'll get it.
So he needs to cross through with his left hand here.
Ah!
That is the way to do it. You can see him holding his finger. It's such a brutal move. I'm just watching his body language. I don't think he's injured himself. I think it's just the strain of trying to do the move repeatedly.
Yes, exactly.
Jamie Cassidy, our chief route setter here in Vail, gave himself a finger injury. I'm pretty sure he said it was on this men's too.
I believe it. I believe it. Just watching him go for that pocket up top is, my fingers are tingling.
You just see him shake his right hand.
All right, time for one more solid attempt. Let's see if he got it. Come on. All right, here we go.
So it's his 4th attempt, 3rd time he's got that move.
Going for the toe this time. Ah!
And with 15 seconds to go, he decides he's had enough. So Tomoaki Takata will be out next. 4 Japanese men in the final. There he is. Being directed out. So 4 minutes starts again.
Height should help a little bit on this problem, I think. Just
makes that move a bit closer.
A little bit closer. You can keep the heel a little bit longer and control it. But if I'm being honest, like, I think the person that gets it is going to keep their eye on that pocket until they get it. So especially with those dynamic problems, the people that seem to get it are the ones that go for it and then also keep their eye on the hold they're going for the entire time until they have control of it. So I didn't see that too much of that at first, but maybe we'll see that change up here with the next few climbers.
I'm just trying to study Tomoaki's body language here. I wonder if he's got a slight injury. He seemed to voluntarily jump off that move.
Right.
Let's keep a close eye. I think it was his right hand. He didn't look happy about something.
Now let's see what happens after that cross again. He did just kind of let go.
Now, is it an injury?
Huh.
Possibly not. Oh, interesting. Seemed as if he sort of happily dropped off the first attempt and looked straight away at his right hand. Doesn't seem to be troubling him now. So he won't be awarded the zone for that. You've got to control it.
Looks a little tired, if I'm being honest.
Well, I mean, about 24-hour journey to get here.
Yeah, he should be.
Altitude and 2 World Cups in the space of 6 days.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And as well, they've not been easy rounds. We see some qualifying rounds where the topper climbers, the higher ranked climbers, are kind of cruising through the boulders.
Exactly.
But here in Vail, they've earned every single top. Now, I'm pretty sure he just dabbed his foot out to the right of that black tape.
I did not catch that. Oh, I hope he didn't.
Well, the judges obviously don't think so. They're a lot closer than we are.
Oh, yep, nope. You got it called on.
The black tape denotes the area of the wall that he's not allowed to touch, so he can't go outside that black tape. And as I say, when he started, his foot just dabbed it. Interesting enough, it wasn't the individual boulder judges who spotted that one. Either way, has been told not to do it again. And with 1:25 left on the clock, yeah, he doesn't really look happy. I wonder if it's fatigue or a minor injury, but certainly at least a couple of the attempts, it looks as if he's kind of bailed out.
Exactly. It looks like he's kind of tired. Doesn't seem to be like grabbing any particular body part or his fingers or anything like that. I think he's just tired, and rightfully so.
1 minute to go, trying to put another top on the board for Team Japan, Tomoaki.
Okay, here he goes again. He's got 50 seconds left.
Here we go, come on.
There's no problem with the left arm, that's for sure. Now he needs to launch up for the zone.
Not quite.
Tomoaki Takata just did not seem happy on that boulder. If there is a small problem with his right hand or maybe one of his fingers, that's certainly not the boulder to be climbing. So here comes Rei Sugimoto. Something of a veteran by the standards of Team Japan, 26 years old. The winner, World Cup winner in the past, Munich in 2013. And as I said earlier, having an absolutely superb 2018. This is third final. in a row.
He absolutely destroyed problem number 1, so let's see how he does with 2. Maybe we see another flash.
Straight up to the zone. So you said, and I think you're right, being slightly taller as Ray is will make this move a bit easier.
And boom. Again, eye contact the entire time up until he had control, and then he looked down.
So cross through. Once that right hand lands, he should claim a top. This will be a flash from Ray Sugimoto if he can do it.
Yes.
No problem at all.
Beautiful.
Just needs to match both hands. There it is. Ray Sugimoto's having an absolutely dream start here in Vail.
Great final so far. And his position in the running order is only helping him. Getting the other climbers just a tad nervous. Like, 2 flashes. Got to step our game up.
Well, Ray Sugimoto, he's only left the ground twice in today's final. And he's topped the boulder both times.
And here comes Sean. Let's see if he can follow up.
Some clarification there, I think, from Sean, perhaps about the black tape or the exact limits of the boulder. He's enjoying himself. And hey, if you can't enjoy being in your first ever final in front of a home crowd, I think you're in the wrong game.
If there's another person out there that's really just enjoying himself, it's definitely Sean. Definitely feels that pressure and wants to perform, but at the end of the day, he's going to be happy that he's just here.
Well, 20 climbers go through to the semi-finals, and Sean's had a 26th and a 27th already in 2018, so he deserved a bit of luck. He's definitely had a brilliant weekend here in Vail.
All
no
right,
problem
Sean,
up to the zone.
come on, Sean. Yes.
Well, like Ray Sugimoto before him, Sean Bailey could be on for 2 flashes in a row here. Crosses through the right hand.
Oh, come on, Sean. Oh, I'm not biased at all. No way.
Big cheer from the American crowd. He goes up with the left hand.
Come on, Sean. All right.
And he lands with the right hand. Another top. Sean Bailey, another flash. Him and Ray setting the pace
up.
so far.
Sean Bailey stepping up. He knows exactly what he needs to do, how he needs to perform. And look at that. So happy.
This was the last move. Once the left hand landed, he knew he had it.
Representing Team Japan, Tomoe Narasaki.
Here is Tomoe Narasaki. He also flashed the first boulder, as did Ray Sugimoto and Sean Bailey.
Let's see if we get another one here.
All business out here.
Amazing work. My God.
No rush at all. Taking his time.
Wow.
I will back that up, though. I'm pretty sure, like, anybody that's going to be making that that move they're going to be watching the entire time.
And again, as we saw with his compatriot Tomoe, just dabbed outside the legal limit of the boulder, and he gets called down by the judges.
Started off strong on end 1.
Heading to the
Doing
zone.
well,
Yeah,
very
no,
good.
no problem now. He's a bit shorter than Ray Sugimoto. How will this move be for him? Crosses through the left hand.
There it is.
No problem at all. Now he goes through with the volcano on the right hand.
A little more dynamic than what we've been seeing.
Yeah, he's playing it a bit more risky. Feet have come off a couple of times. Lining it up for the top.
There we go. That's it.
Oh, Tomoe misses with the left hand. With Ray and Sean, that move looked, compared to what had come before it, relatively straightforward.
Well, if we look at it again, actually when he was adjusting his feet, he just pulled on that left toe without really activating a push foot. So maybe we see that again real quick. But see, looking at the hold the entire time, hopefully get a replay of that. But he did not push off of his right foot, didn't give him enough momentum, and fell just a little short. So if he makes that adjustment, I think he'll make it.
And it looked like he was lining up for another go.
He can top
Actually,
this.
yeah, I think he can top it, but I think he's just going to take a little more rest.
It's a good call. He just wants one more good attempt, and I think he'll be all right.
So I think this
There
is
it
him on the
is.
top move.
Yep, so if you can see, that foot did not push off at all, didn't give him any momentum. So basically he's just pulling on his arms and that left toe. Not enough momentum to get him there.
So wearing number 1, Tomoa Narasaki. Shaking out, making the most of the rest. The thing is now, he hasn't got the boulder first go, so he's already knows he's going to fall behind Sean Bailey and Ray Sugimoto. He might as well make this account 10.
Exactly.
This attempt count, excuse me. And get himself some rest.
Yeah, still 2 more boulders after this, so, you know, it's anybody's comp still.
I think he'll set off with around a minute to go, and he would have time for
Exactly.
another attempt if he needed it, but I think he's counting on not needing it.
Agreed. He seems really solid on the boulder, just a few, you know, kind of silly mistakes, but speaking of.
Yeah, there's another, just overshot it.
Oh, he knows what he's got to do. He's got to get back on it, though. Yep. Come on.
Tomoa, after an amazing start to the competition, could really do with this.
And again, very physically prepared for this boulder, I think, but it's just the tiny little adjustments with the feet. Yep.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, he's got 30 seconds left and chooses not to have another go.
I think that was probably the right call. If he was going to make it, it should have been on that first go at the minute mark.
It seems to happen quite a lot where there's pretty clearly a best go, and
Yeah.
then they can't then recreate it.
He was just rushing those last attempts. All right.
So 4 minutes to go for Yerne Kruder. I'm not quite sure where this men's final is going. Disappearing before our eyes. We'll be halfway through after this.
Come on, Yerne.
Again, like Ray Sugimoto, Yerne, relatively tall climber, may make those top powerful moves a bit easier. Those holes will just be a bit closer. The problem is he's got to get there first. Asks for the brushes to come on.
Yerne has been climbing brilliantly this World Cup season, looking to keep that streak alive here.
That's exactly what he wants. Takes matters into his own hands.
Little slip on the foot there, but yeah, those cheetah feet are also dual tech. There's only a little bit of texture right on the ball, but right outside of that, it's really slick as well. Got to be really precise with that left toe if he wants to get to that next cheetah volume.
So he pulls on again with 2:44 left on the clock.
Come on, Yerne.
And there he goes, placing the foot perfectly.
Again, Yerne looks
Wow.
looks tired.
A little bit.
He's had a pretty tough week, not to mention a pretty tough couple of days. Very hard qualifying round. Hard semi-final round where Yerne was the only climber with 3 tops.
Yeah, it's a little surprising after the semifinal round. He really, really strong, stronger than most.
Plenty of time, 2 minutes left. But you can see how draining that move is.
Little beta switch there. Let's see if that works for him.
Yeah, I wondered
Interesting.
if he might try something else.
Wow. All right. Using that height to his advantage. There he goes.
Completely new method from Yerne Kruder.
Oh, my goodness.
Now
And he's just loving it. Oh, my goodness. Yerne.
Crowd loving the 360 move from Yerne Kruder. We haven't seen that from anyone else. Now he
mu-
needs to launch for the top. He just needs to set himself up. And he's close. He's so close.
And again, I think if he just pushes a little bit more off that right foot, he could get that. But this right here, that's what we come here to see.
If you ever want a real-life demonstration of how strong a World Cup finalist is, try putting 2 fingers on a door frame and doing a 1-arm pull-up while simultaneously rotating 180 degrees. It's essentially what Yerne Kruder's just done. You hope he'll have enough energy for another really good go. It's a nice method he found there. Completely
Amazing.
different. When
Totally static, like just using that height to his advantage, and wow, he's just crushing it right now. he's got time to make it happen.
Well, when
This
he,
crowd will go wild if they see that.
when he tried the method that everyone else has been using, he really didn't seem to like it at all. And so he came up with his own method, but I wonder if it's just a little too much.
Pretty
Yeah,
hard.
definitely looking like he's feeling the fatigue, Yerne. Slightly disappointed. Again, a bit like we saw with Tomoa, there's pretty clearly the attempt, and he just couldn't find
Still
the
having
energy
fun
to
though.
do it again.
Still having
Of
fun.
course.
All right. Oof. Moving on to problem number 3. All right, and that'll be on the far left side, correct?
Apologies if you're having a few issues with your scores updating, by the way. We've got the same at our end, I'm told. It's to do with the judges' tablets. So Tomoa Narasaki's zone on boulder 2 is currently not showing up. It won't actually affect his position. He'll still be in 3rd place, but he would have a slightly different score. Would be 1 top and 2 zones. Here comes Ryuichi Murai onto men's 3.
These holds look crazy.
Yeah, really aesthetic holds. There he is, Ryuichi Murai. It's quite a long boulder this. You go bottom left out to the top right. If you're wondering why he was looking over to the right, you go up into the corner.
Here, press in, and here we go.
Go out right.
A little slab section over here, so everybody will get a tad bit of a rest, like kind of an active rest going on. Use their feet a little bit more than their hands and forearms.
Really
You'll
being
look-
made to think about this, Ryuichi.
Yep. And there he'll get the zone.
Making sure he's got that zone hold there.
Scores are updating now, by the way. Tomoa Narasaki's zone has been recognised on the scoring system. He got its 2nd go after an illegal first attempt where he got called down for touching outside the black tape. So the scores should be up to date now. Apologies for that one. Here goes Ryuichi onto the zone, no problem.
They require a lot of patience.
Top hold is just out of shot, directly above the other ones. The other holds are right at the top of the shot right now.
I wonder if we're going to see something similar to the first boulder, where you kind of have to press out, jump, and catch those 2 holds. Oh, never mind. Speaking a little too soon. There he goes. Come on.
Slightly rushed that move, perhaps.
So same kind of catch going on. However, his beta did seem to work a little bit slower.
Now he knows what he's going to do.
So with 2 minutes left to go, amazing how quickly the time gets burned up on that boulder. It took a long time getting out there.
Oh, yeah. I do think he'll move through this first half a little bit faster on this attempt and just reset maybe in that dihedral for 10 seconds before he goes out for it. And there's that crowd. Awesome to see this many people just stoked on climbing in the U.S.
He knows that these flat climbs take up quite a bit of the clock. So he's got to get going here.
And here comes attempt number 2. Again, yeah, he's moving a little bit quicker through that section. Still cautious with the feet.
Ryuichi now out to the zone.
Tried to save it.
Well, I've seen it so many times in this final where have a really good attempt and can't follow it up. 3 beeps there signifying 1 minute to go.
1 minute to go.
Ryuichi probably has one more attempt here. Common pattern I keep seeing is once they get to that minute mark, people that rush it, they tend to fall. Let's see if he can slow down just a tad and make this move work. Come on. Come on, Ryuichi, come on.
So he's already claimed the zone. He's been pretty close. Those 2 holds just appearing at the top of the shot now are the 2 that
20 seconds
he got to
left.
last time. Time will definitely be a factor though. The time-consuming moves here. Suddenly his hip flexibility failed him at the key moment.
All right. Let's see if he gets it here.
Now he makes it work.
Oh my goodness, come on. Oh!
And he was...
Just shy of it.
He wasn't quite timed out, but I think he just heard the beeps and began to rush. Let's have another look. This is how it ended.
See, right here is when it kind of starts to beep, and it looks like he has it, but then he just hears that final beep, and that's it.
You can see the top hold there at the top of the shot. That's where he's going for. Tomoaki Takata makes his way out.
So a little fatigued on those first 2 problems, but you know what? I think this one's a little bit more relaxed. He can chill out a little more. I think we could see a top here.
Yeah, it's certainly not as physical as men's 2. And he'll have had something of a rest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it definitely looks to me like there might be something up with that right hand. It's the second time he's kind of come off a boulder and instantly looked at his hand. Cut a bit of a frustrated figure on number 2.
Still got plenty of time, around 3 minutes.
He's over on the left-hand side of this Vail wall. And there's a nice breeze blowing. Conditions actually not bad. Conditions yesterday were pretty brutal. It was very hot. Today, slightly better. There's a tiny bit of cloud in the sky. A bit of a breeze. For this kind of boulder, much nicer than it would have been yesterday.
Uh-oh. Ooh, you could kind of see that hand just slipping, going off inch by inch until I just couldn't have it anymore.
There's the crowd here in Vail, always a very well-attended event. Understandably enough, within 100 meters of the venue you can get a hot dog, pulled pork burger, cold beer.
America.
Yeah, sun shining, the world's best climbers are on the wall. No mystery why this is a popular event. Tomoaki Takata on men's 3 with just under 2 minutes to go. Right now, this final being led by Sean Bailey and Ray Sugimoto, both of whom have flashed the first 2 boulders and are yet to attempt men's 3. Men's 3 hasn't seen a top yet. Tomoaki Takata, the second climber to attempt it. And looks at the left hand.
Tomoaki's having a little bit of trouble on this problem. I'm really surprised.
Gambit says the MC. So there's the zone hold down and right, that black volume.
He's keeping it together on this attempt, very good.
One minute to go.
And that will signify 1 minute. There we go.
So he's got to pop up from here into those 2 holds above.
So hopefully he keeps it together here. It doesn't seem like you need to really rush on this move.
He's got plenty of time, but if this attempt doesn't work out, he will be pushed for time to have another. So he really needs to make this one count.
Nope.
Went for a different method. Clearly didn't like the way the route setters has envisaged it being done.
Oh, with 25 seconds, he's going to go again.
Well, it's certainly possible in that time.
Absolutely.
Have to get every move first time and quickly.
He might as well try it here. There's not a lot of pulling going on. So.
And he's already claimed the zone, so might as well have a go, I guess.
All right, here he goes.
So 6 seconds to go.
Very similar. Come on. Oh, we got to go for it.
He's tied out. Hence the stage without the top. So 3 boulders for him done. He's claimed 2 zones. They can sit on this boulder for Raiuchi Muroi and Tomoaki Takata. Now here's Rei Sugimoto.
But I can see it, and he should. He's doing great. Really control everything. Nice and flawless right now.
The zone, no problem.
All right,
We've seen all do that. Get the right foot off and then repeat it. Play a jump.
Oh, crossing.
Oh, so that's been you, Rei Sugimoto.
I think we're gonna get our first top here.
Rei Sugimoto really take control, man.
Oh, first ball.
Oh,
that
Ray definitely.
Absolutely. First day for Ray, or in final at least. He's doing fantastic. Yeah, he's over.
Finish that panel. I can't believe they've used up. And I think he's pretty confident he can do this boulder. He's taking a good long rest. Rushing. I think he needs a lot of attempts.
Keeping together everything should fall place here.
Had a brilliant first attempt. Always topped it. Had a hand hold.
Give Sean sort of a clue of what they need to do on this board.
This is a very solid attempt from Ray. Is he much good?
Shock a little bit.
I don't think he I think he might have
bring in just
Ray Sugimoto. 3 tops on the floor.
You can see they're towering over.
That is 3 tops, an amazing final he's having.
He's doing really well. And next week on, if he can keep it up. Very flashable rep for as well.
So, take the lead, don't get carried. It's pretty nice.
He knows. Come on, Sean.
Plenty of encouragement from the low crowd. Super solid. Yes.
Sorry.
Control the move. See the method doing about right.
And come out. Be a fuse.
Interesting enough, Ray's top of this boulder was the first top of a boulder in the final. It wasn't a flash at all until Ray's ascent to this number 3. Tomoe Narasaki and Yone Christopher in this one.
Yep, seeing Sean really good on that hold. You see if he switches his feet right here. Oh, still got time.
He's in an incredibly strong position, Sean Bailey, already, but with Ray to the top, he could really do a top. Minute and a half for him to find the method that has so far eluded him.
All right, Sean. As long as he keeps it together, doesn't get too frustrated, I think he might find it. He does seem to be first set.
Going to need to do your stretching. 3 beeps to say that there's 1 minute to go for Sean.
Really get that move down. A little bit more. Oh, run!
This time makes his right foot. Your right hand is going to make this move. I don't think it's possible. Very, very difficult. Can he find it? It looks like he can. Just needs to control the swing as he commits.
Nope.
He might have heard it. He's order. Just have a little bit of make. Certainly, basically. Here's Tomoe. Tomoe and second. So,
let's see if he goes with the first method. Just after like Sean.
Listen to what Tomoe for his dynamic jump.
Ooh.
I have a feeling I might go for the Sean Bailey method here.
I agree. All right. Glad he's taking the room for that. Wow. What section of boulder? And there goes foot getting zone. It's a very tight move here. Let's see.
And try that left flip.
There we go. All right.
Oh, and
there.
We're fine.
He does seem to have it worked out though. Long rest, maybe goes another 30 seconds.
You can see hard.
No matter how much water you think you're drinking, and if you might think it's working, you know. All right, that pass this move.
Personally, you can see him if he's actively trying to stop the ground. Control, he holds on. Now he's at the top. Key. 1 minute spare. He's fine.
What this one?
Incredible finale if he can do it. And it's empathy.
So definitely this movie a little cold for him. There's a reach. Get that fast. Good catch.
Proud of Risha. That was amazing.
He's a little relieved on that one too, honestly.
How much close looks with someone of your height.
Exactly. You know what? I'd have done so as well. This one.
Just touch hand. Put hand. Knew it. It's how hard he tried to get.
Then he didn't put much there. He's in so middle, and it'll be.
This is probably a couple thousand people here in the venue. He's the only guy on stage. He's happy just to. He's not going to be there. A couple of people that have been in finals this year since we started having the split finals, and they said you really feel the pressure of everybody waiting for you to do something.
Oh yeah,
and
all eyes are on you.
Yeah, and Yerna doesn't seem to be just white. So,
yeah, but I think he feels confident.
Interesting aspect scores here. With the exception of Bakata on the tops right now. So after a good long had over a minute back on the again.
Okay.
I thought one that was just about kept himself ready.
Hello.
You're going to sit different method. Oh,
let go just a bit. Fine. That's but
last is not going to have to rest here. Go, put one in the window. Got it.
Wow. What here?
Well, we see it.
Oh, good. You're in.
I was about to say we didn't quite see it. He has to use the start.
Okay. Valiant, it's doing it for the
top spin. Podium the only climbers with any top five, Koichi, Murai, and Tomoaki Takata, cannot make it onto the podium even if they top the next boulder. They can't displace those top three, so it's
been a fantastic final for those three, and you know what? I'm so gone right. It's amazing.
You just be right. 4 minutes of the state here. The route has got many weights in the middle. And the good news is that the can drive up the ball. So we should have a pretty fair dive.
You'll get Alright, let's see about this first move. This first move, when we were taking a look, it was giving me a little bit of trouble looking at this beta.
Now, Ryo, he's just he's be called. And one of the sets, you can't tell who it is through the cap and sunglasses. Is on day. Yes.
I guess something what quite set screwed was that. That's the one you seem to
I think the
have trouble
dealing with this will just be one screws.
Exactly.
So the main bolt itself being tightened, and then I think they'll chuck in. Interesting, he pulled on soon. He
felt something he wanted to perform.
So now he's away.
Yes, and he didn't roll it, so really an attempt in the first place, but we'll start that over.
And now he's being made to wait again.
We're going to have him start at 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
So he's going to start at 3:30. I've just heard the MC say. Presumably because he used up the first seconds just so the boulder.
Exactly.
Now,
alright. If you got that. Discussing with and they would. So I can picture folks, they'll have to match that first little hold. With our folks, they might just jump over to the next room and then come into the volume below.
New shoes on for Ryoichi, just a quick change of shoes down the front there. Really nice for him at the top.
There he goes. Alright, yes,
News as well.
Oh man. See, I did not think that was the way to do it. Coming under like that.
Incredible. One arm and spin around without generating any momentum.
Yeah, I was thinking you just need to match that crimp and then hit the double Gaston again, which seems to be a pretty like a favorite going on with these problems here. But yeah, I think if he matches that first crimp over to the right and then just shoots out left with a Gaston. I think he can keep that. Crimps are bad, but solid enough to make that work. And there goes the bump again. All right. And there's the match, yes.
Yeah, what will the method be this time? That's a bit
Bam.
more like it.
That's it. All right.
So that's our bird's eye view on him.
There's his foot, if he can get the right.
Yeah, now he's got to head out to the right. You can see the small screw on hold. 3 beeps telling us he's got a minute left.
Yeah, I've got this read in an entirely different way. Let's see what he can pull off in 40 seconds. It is the last boulder for him, so might as well go all out here. Come on, Ryuichi.
30 seconds left for him to claim a top in his first ever World Cup final. And he's playing a bit of a dangerous game here.
A little quick here, yeah.
He's setting off a little bit too late, I think. I think he should probably have gone 10, 15 seconds before he did. And then he was forced to rush, and now he's being really forced to rush. And this would have to be absolutely miraculous to top it with 10 seconds to go.
Doubtful, but I admire the effort. Oh.
Well, it looks like he's enjoyed himself, Ryuichi. Possibly a tiny bit of inexperience, just cutting it a bit too fine on that last attempt, and it meant he had to rush. Easy to say when I'm not breathing hard from the altitude and 2 hard days of climbing.
I gotta say that beta didn't seem all that bad though. It looked like he missed it a little bit, but if you make contact with that and you've got like Yurne's strength, then probably pull on that.
This is Tomoaki Takata. Also out atop today.
And let's see, going with the heel. So that's really smart. He's going with the left hand as well.
Got a question on Twitter, actually, Ahmed, from Kay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he says, is this considered the American style of setting? And if so, why? I guess what is the American style of setting?
I guess, like, if I had to assume, I would assume you're talking about the amount of holds on the wall. And yes, there are different rules, like with the U.S. and the IFSC, but this is an IFSC event, so I'd have to look that up again. But I'm under the impression there's a hold limit.
But I think people generally say American setting is quite powerful.
Yes,
is that a fair summary?
Yes, very, very. At least in the past few years, it seems like the Europeans, the IFSC, they've really like embraced the idea of volume setting. So movement, like really like positioning your body in the correct way before you actually attempt any of these moves. Whereas the American style setting, we're very much into like our outdoor climbing and just physical boulders and just how hard these things can be. So it can be a little bit of a shock, I guess, for some of the foreign climbers, just because you're going from something that's generally more body position, less powerful, to something that is, wow, I'm just pulling on really tiny holds and just doing these really powerful moves, and it just hurts. So if I had to pinpoint it, that would probably be the difference.
Yeah, I was chatting to some of the French team, and they were saying they went to the climbing walls in Boulder.
Yeah.
And cruised everything technical and
exactly.
slabby, and then said they basically got spanked by all the powerful Americans.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it's just different styles.
Yeah, I mean, we love to throw and like shoot out for like small holds, you know, big moves, small holds, the whole shebang. So even here, like you can see like the basket weave or the little bubble wrap hold over here, not so great. Volumes are good, like the crimps, they're pretty in cut, but you know, you get that mix with body position and power, especially on this boulder. So you can kind of see where the Americans and the Europeans kind of work together, and what parts are theirs and what parts are what parts of the Europeans and what parts of the Americans. Yeah.
Tomoaki Takata here, not getting on too well with men's 4 as it stands.
Again, I think the fatigue is just getting to him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to try and grab a word with someone from Team Japan later and figure this one out, because I was wondering if he was perhaps carrying an injury on his right hand, but I'm beginning to think it might just be sheer fatigue.
Oh, wow. There we go. All right.
It definitely doesn't seem to be anything wrong with the right hand now. 17 seconds to go. He's got time to do this boulder.
All right, can he keep it together? Oh, I don't think that's going to be enough to get to the top.
Tomoaki Takata is going to finish the final without a top, but it won't be for lack of trying. A spirited fight from him, but he's going to finish the final in 6th place.
Coming out now and climbing absolutely inspired today, Rei Sugimoto.
And Rei Sugimoto trying to keeping his composure.
Well, the maths is quite simple for Rei.
It's on his side. Yeah.
Top here wins in the competition. It's in his hand. He doesn't need to worry what anyone else does. If he tops the boulder, he wins the competition. It's as simple as that. Worth pointing out, he could still win it even if he doesn't top.
Exactly.
But first things first, get to the top, he wins. If he doesn't manage it, we'll delve into the maths a little bit more. He's had an incredible final. 3 tops requiring just 4 attempts. And if he is tired, he just needs to find the energy to carry on for just over 3 more minutes.
Right.
Looking pretty solid this time. Slightly different method.
Very strong climber. There we go.
Yeah, no shortage of power.
Exactly. He's left just enough in the tank, I believe.
A zone could be absolutely crucial as well. That now means...
He does have the zone now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's got to be controlled. The judges have got to give him that one. That would mean he's already got 3 tops and 4 zones. So that would really heap the pressure on. Two and a half minutes, Rei Sugimoto. Needs all his experience here just to take as much rest as he needs. I mentioned it earlier with Yone Kruder. Don't worry about the crowd.
Currently sitting in first place, Rei.
Just take your time.
To secure that spot right here.
He seems comfortable.
He's very, very composed. Results have just been getting better and better for Rei Sugimoto this year. 4th and 3rd in the last 2 World Cups. And he's going to at least be on the podium.
There's the match that we want. That's it.
Gamba Gamba Rei. He's already got the zone. Now he's got it again.
So I'm hoping, yes, exactly. I'm hoping it goes right here. That's it. All right. I'm thinking we're going to see a top here.
Rei Sugimoto is powering his way through this boulder. He could be powering his way to his 2nd ever World Cup win. Rei Sugimoto lining it up. And he won't get much closer than that. He looks
very
so
good
composed up until there.
And it looks like he's going to give it one more burn for the crowd. But that was, I think that's definitely enough for a win, but we got a couple more left, so let's see.
It'd be great for Rei if he could finish with 4 tops, but could all be about to get very tense.
Pushes his hips out just a tad on that last move with that last attempt. So if he can pull in with his feet and just keep his hips in, I think he's got it.
Okay, 45 seconds to go for Rei. Seems to have the method absolutely dialed on the last one.
Oh, he's got time. All right, and with 30 seconds left. He can still make it. Good, working through it.
Getting pretty tense here in Vail.
Oh,
Ray Sugimoto really having to fight. You can see the look
oh
on his face.
goodness. Oh, on that second slip, you could kind of see him turn around and smile a bit.
Just couldn't quite find the top. But that will leave him in first place, and it will leave Tomoe Narasaki and Sean Bailey
Seems quite
under
happy
some
with
real
that
pressure.
performance. Very happy with that performance, though.
Coming out now for his final problem, USA's own Sean Bailey.
So here's Sean Bailey.
Come on,
A flash will win the competition for him,
Come on, Sean.
or at least put him in first place. Apologies, it won't win him. It will move him up into first, though.
Come on, Sean. This boulder is powerful and body position. It's very much his style. Like, if anybody's going to flash, it's going to be Sean. Come on, Sean. Keep it together, Sean. Really wants that flash.
He really does want the
He
flash.
really wants that flash. The
I've
crowd has given him all that.
I've just looked at the scores again. A flash will do it for him.
Oh, he's doing a really good job, looking strong.
Sean Bailey in his first World Cup final. He's got the zone. Can he find the
goodness.
flash?
Come on, Sean. And that crowd is going for him. Oh, let's see if he gets that foot.
He's just trying to match that zone hold, but it's a tiny hold.
Yep, needs to move that right foot. Come on, bud. There we go. Come on, Sean.
Here he goes, Sean. He's launching up into this top, almost groove
Oh, goodness.
created by these two volumes.
Come on, Sean.
Can he do it? Sean Bailey,
Sean Bailey.
his first ever Boulder World Cup final. He's one move away from winning the gold medal. The crowd are absolutely loving this one. Here he goes. So close.
So close. Sean, with one move, went, crazy. So while he was there, I do think bringing that left foot up to the zone hold will actually get him there. But let's see, he can still top this guy.
So if he tops this, he will move ahead of Rei Sugimoto, but Tomoe Narasaki could take the win away.
There we go. All right, well, we will see. That was definitely the closest first attempt we have seen. So if Sean can just keep his composure, give it one more valiant effort. Look at, hear that crowd. That's amazing.
Let's go, Sean.
Let's
comes
go,
the
Sean,
chant.
indeed.
Now, will Sean choose to get the crowd pumped up? I think very mature performance from Sean Bailey just to calmly brush the holes.
Yeah,
When you
Sean
think
wants
what's
it.
at stake.
Oh, he wants it.
He definitely wants it, but
He-
I'm
yeah.
impressed by his coolness. It's kind of easy when the crowd start chanting like that just to jump on and do something rash, but instead he takes his time, brushes the holes, shakes out.
I've been buddies with Sean for years, and he's like one of the most fun people you could possibly hang out with, but when it's time to work, he is there. Super committed. And that's why he's here. All right, Sean. All right, Sean. Sean keeping that composure, knows exactly what he's got to do.
Can he find a top? He's got 30 seconds left.
Very
You
smart.
can see how hard he's having to work. Now the right foot comes up, matches his own. We saw him pull off these moves
Come on,
earlier.
Sean.
Has he got the energy to do them all for a second go and then finish it with a top?
I think he does.
So he gets something of a break after about 30 seconds of super physical climbing. And with 10 seconds to go, he's not going to find a top.
Little slip of the foot, but very, very good final from Sean Bailey. He didn't quite place that left foot, and that was it.
Sean Bailey nearly won.
Oh man, I might have left the booth. I might have ran out of the booth.
So here's Tomoa Narasaki now. If he flashes the boulder, he will beat Rei Sugimoto and count back to the semi-final result.
Tomoa giving it another quick read.
It's very, very, very tight here in Vail. As I say, flash from Tomoa will do the job. He'd end up with 3 tops, 4 zones, 4 attempts and 5 attempts respectively, and that would be enough to win it on countback. However, if he doesn't do it first go, Rei Sugimoto is going to win his second ever World Cup, 5 years on from his first triumph. Can Tomoa Narasaki become the first 2-time winner of 2018, or are we going to see our 6th different winner in 6 male World Cups? I wonder if that right leg where he got the cramp is causing him some problems now that he's got to stretch out again. Be the last thing he wanted to see was a big stretch out right like that.
He looks, yeah, he looks all right.
He's not done it, and that means that Rei Sugimoto is the winner in Vail. Let's just have a look at Tomoa before we talk about Rei. Oh, he was inches away. His right hand was just trying to creep around the corner.
It looked like he was trying to decide, like, am I going to press or am I going to grab around this and wrap my fingers around that dual tech hold? But that indecision cost him.
So, 6 World Cups in 2018, 6 different winners on the men's side.
Right? Very exciting season.
I'm just looking across the foot of the wall, trying to see Rei Sugimoto, because I think he was down in the press and coaches and athletes area, right down the front of the wall a second ago.
He must know by now, right?
He must know, yeah. So Tomoa is not going to win his second World Cup of 2018. Won in Moscow.
I will say Tomoa's the first one that I've seen employ this knee bar on the volumes here. So he kind of wedges it in there and gets it back and doesn't get the Gaston. That beta seems a lot easier than what everybody else was doing too.
So Tomoa Narasaki, now he's lining it up. You can see the top hole, there it is.
Ooh.
And again, touches it without managing to top.
Not quite. Interesting he's going with the right hand though.
Yeah, worth pointing out that if he does manage to top this, he'll move up into second place, which, given how tight the overall rankings are, could be absolutely crucial.
Exactly.
That was the move he missed last time.
Exactly. You can see him wrapping his fingers around now. Going with the right hand, but just a little left of it. Like enough power, everything was perfect. Just bringing an inch to the right, and he's got it.
Three beeps, 1 minute left for Tomoa. 1 minute left of this Vail final. It's been a tight, edgy affair. Only 3 climbers have claimed a top.
All right. It's amazing how easy he's making this look.
So with 30 seconds to go, he decides against it. Tomoa's Vail World Cup is over, and in 4 minutes the whole event will be over, and he shakes hand with the winner, Rei Sugimoto, wearing number 48 there. Here comes Yernay.
Coming out with a smile.
And I mentioned it earlier with the ranking points. If Yernay can find a top here, he'll move up into 4th place, 1 place behind Tomoa. Could be absolutely crucial.
That absolutely matters for the overall, so he's, it's not over yet. He still wants to try his very best here.
So no problem.
Going with the rows again.
No problem with the zone. So he will have got all 4 zones here, Yernay, without claiming a top.
Oh, wow, so strong. Oh, Yernay.
Well, hey, I guess if you got the strength, why not? Here he goes.
There are very few. If Yernay tops, There are very few that can celebrate like Urne does.
Well, it won't net him a place on the
Yeah.
podium.
He'll still be stoked.
I think he'll be pretty happy, man.
Uh,
Yeah, so again, I'm just looking now at the scores, it's been an interesting final.
yeah,
Tomoaki Takata on number 2, the only zone missed.
right.
And yet, we've only had, as it stands, 7 tops. So quite an unusual spread of results.
Yeah, it's a little mixed
everyone's
bag.
got every zone, essentially, with one exception. And but not many tops.
I kind of liked it that way. Just, well, it kind of got the crowd like really, really hyped in certain areas. It gave like the other climbers just enough information to really, pull something out if they really needed to. But it makes for a great competition. Since we got a lot of zones, we saw most of these problems get most of the way done. So, route setters must have been pretty happy about that.
You're a setter yourself. How would you read that situation? Would you think that maybe you mispositioned some of the zones? That maybe the zones are too low on the boulder?
You know what? I thought zone placement was actually pretty solid. Maybe progression, like of the problems themselves. Yeah, so, for example, the male 3, like slabby, pretty good as long as you have good footwork. I thought that was a pretty solid place to put the zone.
It seemed like we've seen a lot of climbers falling on the very last move on a lot of boulders.
Exactly. So it makes for a really interesting spread, and I think they did a really good job of it. Everybody seems to be winning or losing by one hold, one top, one zone hold. So speaking of the setting, though, I've got to say this last problem, just to stress the whole cooperation between the American setters and the European setters, you get everything with that. You got power, you've got body position, some real technical portions of it where if you miss your foot or anything, you're coming off the wall. So yeah, kudos on this last problem, really.
It would be nice for the route setting team if somebody could top it. It's the only
Yep.
boulder that hasn't been topped yet, and Urne Kruder's got just under 50 seconds
I
to
think
do
he can
something
do it.
about that. Yeah, he was close last time. It's not a great top hold they're going for. Are we going to see a different method altogether? Is he going to try and jimmy that left foot up? Or will he go from
All
here?
right, here we go.
I think he's going to launch. Urne Kruder setting himself. No, maybe has a rethink. 25 seconds left, so he won't have time for another good go.
Oh. That would have been, I could see what he was going for, a little bit of a Gaston to press himself up and maybe do that statically. Did not go, but Urne, grinning from ear to ear, had a great time.
He's had a brilliant 2018, and he's going to finish in 4th place, 1 point behind, behind Tomoe Narasaki, his rival in the overall standings. Shakes hands with all the fellow finalists. So we're going to have our top 3 presented to the crowd. Tomoe Narasaki, 3rd place for him. Sean Bailey, his first ever World Cup final, 2nd place. And Rei Sugimoto, for the 2nd time, is a World Cup winner. He had to wait 5 years for a 2nd win.
Congratulations to our 3 finalists right there. Amazing. Oh.
And that's a popular result for Sean Bailey. There it is, Rei Sugimoto, winner in Vail. 2018 has been the year of the, I mean veterans in a nice way.
Absolutely.
Rei Sugimoto, Urne Kruder, Akira Noguchi.
They're really just
Gabriele Moroni.
Showing off their experience,
yeah,
really,
of course. And there you have it, 3 tops for Rei Sugimoto. Always nice, I have to say, when the winner gets more tops, and it's a nice clean win.
Yes.
Sean Bailey and Tomoe Narasaki, the rest of the top 3. Urne Kruder, Ryuichi Murai, and Tomoaki Takata, the rest of the top 6. So it'll be the women's final shortly.
picks up the absolute strongest.
And you see the crowd here in Vail, obviously all staying for this women's final. This could be very tight.
Semifinals today, if you were not here.
You can see people rushing off to Vail Village real quick, maybe getting a snack or a drink real quick so they can come back and get a good position for the women's final.
For the ladies tonight, we've got Alma Bestwasser, Tyra Khan.
There go our route setters making some quick adjustments for the female boulders, moving some of these holds from the male final out of the way.
Yeah, the route set is just cleaning the wall up slightly. So there's no doubt about which holds are which. So some of that men's 3 being removed. And Ahmed, we have to lose you, but thank you very much. 3rd time in a row we've worked together in Vail. Pleasure as ever, and we'll see you in Arco.
You know, Charlie, it's always a good time when I'm over here. Yeah, we'll see. You'll see me in Arco for sure.
All right, thank you, Ahmed.
Make sure you take it easy on those gears. They might just hit you before you know it.
We've got a very special guest, fresh down from the wall, Ray Sugimoto. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How was it on the last boulder? You almost topped it.
But super hard for me because little bit so hard crimp. So I need not so good. So but before the 3 boulder, I good. So I managed to top. But it's very close.
And how does it feel? 5 years since Munich, and you win again.
Yes, impressive. It is, and it is before the surgery. So in 5 years I now not good in World Cup, but I yes, なんだろうな。It's
But
good. Yes.
amazing achievement. So congratulations for the 2nd time. You win a World Cup, and amazing to watch. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yes. Last Munich, it is I think lucky victory, but it is maybe good.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
congratulations. It was amazing to watch, and enjoy the podium. Fantastic achievement.
Thank you very much.
That's Ray Sugimoto, and hopefully we'll grab a word with Sean Bailey in 2nd place. But Ray, congratulations, fantastic.
Thank you.
I've just been told by Ray Sugimoto that his English isn't good. Your English is very good. Arigato, thank you very much. I just mentioned it then, that hopefully we'd get a word with Sean Bailey. We're trying to track him down. He's currently touring the venue, high-fiving and hugging everyone. Here he comes. This is women's observation underway here. And as we watch the women observe, we'll grab a word with Boulder World Cup medalist Sean Bailey. Sean, that was an absolutely amazing performance. Your 1st ever Boulder World Cup final. Just come this way a wee bit. There we go. 1st ever Boulder World Cup final, 2nd place.
Yep.
I mean, you were happy to make the semi-final.
I was super happy to make the semi-final.
What was it like on that last boulder when the crowd were chanting your name?
Oh, I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's just surreal.
And did you realise how close it was? I mean, you actually had a chance to win.
Yeah. I mean, we saw the scores after every round,
Yeah.
every boulder, so I knew that if I flashed, that there's the opportunity for the win. So just want to try really hard on the one go, and just so narrow. Almost did it, but yeah, it's all right.
And are we going to see you in more Boulder World Cups? I mean, you've
Yeah.
done all of them so far. You're coming to Munich.
I don't know about Munich.
And in the World Championships, what disciplines will we see you
we'll
in?
be doing bouldering too, so
Okay,
lead
cool.
boulders.
All right, well, man, You were happy to make the semi-final,
Yeah.
blown away to make the final,
Yep.
and in a couple of hours' time you go and collect a silver
Don't
medal.
have any words anymore, man. I just don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. I thought it'd be a lead comp that I made my first podium, but it happened to be Boulder. So
Hey, you
I'll
got the
take it.
job done. It was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
and Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
That was Sean Bailey, as I say, World Cup medalist.
Thanks, guys.
That is the sound of Sean Bailey high-fiving. I don't think I'm the last person who'll be high-fiving today. Amazing day for him. So here are the women observing their boulders. Apologies that we haven't described the boulders for you just yet. Can't turn down the chance to talk to a World Cup winner and a World Cup silver medalist. So, and there's Alex Puccio wearing number 34. Really interested to see how she goes today.
Seeing these climbers collaborate on beta, try to help each other out, try to figure out exactly what to do. They're all in it to get to the top of that podium. But that's one of the things that makes climbing so great, is they're all here to help each other out.
So there's Kyra Conley just trying out the starting holds of women's 2. Six female finalists. 2 from the USA. Alex Puccio and Kyra Conley.
While these ladies are checking out these boulder problems, make sure you stop by
And
the tent
got
with
another
all of our
very special guest in the commentary box. What is your name and where do you come from?
My name is Tiffany Milius and I come from Australia.
Currently a resident of Canada, I'm told.
That's correct, yes. I live and train in Canada now.
And you just watched the men's final. What are your impressions? Pretty tight affair.
It was so exciting. I think that the move that Sean missed on the last problem was probably the most exciting move I have seen in a long time. The crowd was so loud.
This is women's observation. The climbers get 2 minutes to look at each boulder before the final. They look at them en masse, as you can see. They're welcome to talk and discuss methods as much as they like.
Looks like they were on women's 3 right now, and it looks like it's a very force-dependent problem. So needing to get opposing forces between volumes or between different holds. There's not a lot to actually like latch onto.
Yeah, that huge grey volume is the same one we saw on this exact piece of wall on men's 4 in the semi-final. Alex Puccio just trying to figure out the beta. The beta, we should say here.
the clearest lenses on the planet, they claim. And their new Untangled collection is made entirely from recycled fishing nets.
As I say, 2 Americans in today's final. We've just talked to one American finalist who won a silver medal, Sean Bailey. Got 2 gunning for it in the women's, Alex Puccio and Kyra Conley. And we've got 2 Japanese climbers, a French climber and a German, Alma Bestvater, her second final in the space of 6 days. And they move on to women's 4. This is probably the most aesthetic boulder we've seen this season. These beautiful blocks volumes. I think there's a few people having a pit stop in the crowd. There you can see the starting order for the women's final. Alma Bestvater, Kyra Conley, Miho Nanaka, Fanny Gibert, Akira Noguchi and Alex Puccio. The last 3 World Cups have been the Miho and Akio show, with Akio edging all of them. Can they be knocked off those top 2 places on the podium?
Because Alex is qualified first going into finals, so she always has fun here in Vail in front of the home crowd. She likes the noise and the energy, and it's a really big crowd out there. So.
And she's never won in Vail.
Has she not?
No, 11-time national champion. No, just a 1 World Cup win for Alex Puccio down the years. As I say, never won in Vail.
And she's just been on the podium so many times that it seems very strange that she hasn't won more than once.
Yeah, 13 podiums she's had, but just the 1 win. But she, to me, looked the strongest climber in the qualifiers, and definitely looked the strongest in the semi-final.
Yeah, she definitely did.
And interestingly enough, this is not in any way to discredit it if she was to win the competition, but she is the only finalist that hasn't travelled from Tokyo this
Oh,
week.
interesting.
So I'm just putting it out there.
So 5 out of the 6 were Tokyo finalists, yeah.
Well, we're competing in Tokyo, so they've had the marathon
Yes.
journey, the time shift, the change of altitude.
And it's been an amazing sort of journey to watch with Alex coming back from her surgery. I think a lot of people in the climbing industry thought that that might have been it, that might have been the end of her career, but she's really done a great job of rehabbing, looking after herself, and then coming and performing the way she's done in the last 2 rounds has been incredible.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Not many climbers seem to get a succession of injuries and then go back to being injury-free. It kind of seems like once you go down that road of injury after injury, it just becomes a vicious cycle. She's one of the few climbers I can think of off the top of my head who've had a lot of serious injuries and now seems to be clear of it and back to her best.
And I think for some people, it's a wake-up call. It's like, okay, I've really got to take care of my body, got to do a lot of rehab and conditioning, and it seems like that's what she's done, and it looks like it's paying off.
So we're very close to the start of this women's final. We saw a tense, edgy men's final with lots of zones and not many tops. A lot of heartbreak hotel moments. So the athletes will be presented to the crowd. They've already done their observation, but they now get formally introduced. There's Alma Bestvater. Here's Kyra Condy. The American crowd have already seen one of their climbers take a medal in the men's competition. Here's Miho Nanaka. 4 second-place finishes in a row. Fanny Gibert. Can she make the leap to winning a World Cup? She's come close. Here's Akiyo Noguchi. She's absolutely dominated the last 3 World Cups. She's looked by far the strongest climber in all of them and a deserved winner in all 3. But she's going to have some fierce competition this week from Alex Puccio. Okay, so before the final gets underway, let's have a quick recap of the women's semi-final from earlier on today. We don't see Alex Puccio in many World Cups, but after her performance in the Vail semi-finals, many climbing fans will be hoping that she decides to compete a bit more. She did 3 boulders, which nobody else could match, and went through to the final in first place. She's been 11-time American boulder champion, but has never won a World Cup in her home country. Today could well be the day. Alex's main rival in the final is likely to be Akiyo Noguchi, who's won the last 3 World Cups and was only narrowly beaten into second in the semis by Alex. She's hunting her 23rd World Cup win and has been looking unstoppable recently. Fanny Gibert has won medals at World Cups before, but never a gold one. She is the reigning French national champion and is one of the best climbers never to win at the highest level. This top of Boulder 4 in the semis, which nobody else did, was a real statement of intent, and she's a real contender in the final. She went through third in the semis with 2 tops, having also done Boulder 1. Miho Nanaka is on a run of 4 second places in a row and has been exceptionally consistent this year. She won the first event of the season and will be desperate to get back on the top step of the podium here in Vail. She topped 2 semi-final boulders and went into the final in 4th place. Kyra Condy made her first final at Tokyo in China and now has made her second, it being all the sweeter for being in front of her home crowd. Alma Bestvater of Germany, who is the 6th finalist, is also in her 2nd final. And there we have Alma Bestvater, just mentioned her And the semi-final recap.
And we're going to bring them out.
A bit like the London buses finals for Alma Bestvater, they come in twos. She took 5th in Hachioji, her first ever final, follows it up here in Vail. Is it a rich run of form, or is it the start of a major push? We shall see. Next World Cup, of course, will be her home World Cup in Munich. 4 minutes begins again for her. Like with the men, 4 minutes for each climber to attempt each boulder. And she's underway. They'll start with her. It is a slab in the top half, slightly overhanging in the bottom, but quite a technical first boulder for the women. Route setters made a couple of last-minute adjustments to this one. I think conditions were not quite as good as when they were testing the boulders earlier in the week, so they have added a couple of holds, just tiny screw-on holds, and they're expecting a few tops on this boulder.
With all of these slab problems, it's so important to just be patient. You can't rush anything, and you've just got to move your body, move your center of gravity slowly, inch by inch, into whichever position it is that it needs to be in, just to get that, you know, couple of inches higher or a couple of inches to the side.
Fanny Gibert, we just saw it on the highlights in the semi-finals. Absolutely incredible top of women's 4 in the semis. You'd have thought this is a boulder she might like. And it could put her in a strong position going into boulder 2. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it could alter the dynamic of the final, having a slab up first with Fanny being such a good slab climber. So
yeah, definitely.
It feels like we need something to break up the Mio and Akio show. If it's going to happen, it needs to happen earlier on, or they could just run away with the competition.
And it was interesting watching in the semi-finals that, you know, Miho and Akio really excelled on quite different problems, and watching the difference between them. So having the mix of styles that they have here, it'll be very interesting to see with the extra different competitors in the mix, with Alex being particularly strong. And Kyra, you know, has an incredible contact strength. And so just different strengths among the different finalists. It'll be very interesting to see.
I actually quite like when sports people dominate, as Akio is doing right now. You kind of see how dominant can you be, how many can you win in a row. But if someone wants to break that up, I think they need to get ahead early in this final, because Akio just is so mentally strong, so vastly experienced, that once she gets away, I can't see anyone reining her in. But
yeah, I was listening to you commentating in Tokyo, and the stats you were reading out about Akio, it was incredible.
I totally geeked out. Yeah, it was great. Well, I said it last time in Tokyo. To make a World Cup final puts you in a very elite category. To claim a medal, to win one, is even more elite. But 51 podiums is just mind-blowing. And showing no sign of slowing down.
Not at all. And it's interesting, she you know, has been around for so long, is one of the sort of more aging competitors, and is actually quite tall for the field, and so her climbing style tends to be quite different.
Let's have a look then. Alma with 45 seconds to go on women's 1. Can she claim a medal? We've had a huge amount of surprising results and bolters seemingly coming from nowhere this season. And Alma Bestvater, interestingly enough, deciding against another go.
It's very hot out there. Sometimes.
Yeah, in fact, Ahmed Torre, who's in here before you, he and I were discussing what's it actually like outside, because we're sheltered in here.
Yeah.
Is it quite as hot as yesterday?
Yes, it's pretty hot.
Okay.
I'm not up on the stage today, so I can't tell you if it's comparable to yesterday, but I can tell you in the sun in the audience, it's really hot, and the conditions are quite humid. I think it's probably more humid than it was yesterday. So these volumes are going to be more difficult because the friction isn't going to be quite as good, which is maybe why they put the little jibs on the volumes.
Yeah, a couple of screw-on holes just been added here as Kyra Condi attempts boulder 1 for the first time. You climbed yesterday in the qualifiers. You were pretty close to the semi-finals. Was it 23rd?
Yep. 2 spots out of my group. So I was pretty happy with that performance.
How was it on the mat compared to being out in the crowd? Because where the crowd is so hot.
You know what? Like it wasn't too bad. I was actually surprised that the holds felt as good as they did. So it didn't. I think again the humidity more than the heat probably affects the performance, which is why today being more humid, I think it would just be really challenging, especially on volumes like this, because you've got so much friction. But then if your hands are sweating, that's it. Like all bets are off.
Yeah, yesterday the shade made a huge difference. Some of the places we go, like Arco, it doesn't really matter if you're in the sun or the shade, it just feels the same temperature. But it seemed like yesterday the shade was crucial, but very, as you say, much more humid today. It's a bit more cloud in the sky. Kind of feels like there might be a thunderstorm brewing for, if not today, then maybe tomorrow. Kyra Conley's got 2.5 minutes to find a top here. 6th in Taiwan in her first ever final, but she's had a really good year. 21st in Chongqing, bit of a heartbreaking position to finish just outside the semi-finals, but then it's a final in Taiwan and a strong semi-final, 14th in Hachioji 6 days ago. And instantly look at her hands again. Hard to believe many of the competitors have got much skin left after tough work up in Tokyo. Air travel doesn't do your skin much good at all. And another tough set of boulders in every round so far here in Vail.
And although it's humid, because we're at altitude, you actually get dehydrated more quickly. So of course your skin gets dry from the altitude, from being dehydrated, but then it's actually sweating when you're actually on the holds. So it's kind of a double whammy. Your skin's dry and wet at the same time.
Not an ideal combination. Kyra looking a bit frustrated with this.
It looks like she actually just needs to drop her weight a little bit more on that right-hand volume. It's easy for us to say sitting here, you know, not actually up there on the wall, but it looks like she's trying to pull up just a little bit too early, and so she's reducing the amount of contact, that area that she has on that volume.
You got this, Kyra. Come on.
Venue MC says, "You got this, Kyra." We shall see. She's got 48 seconds to prove him right.
Now finding one.
Yeah, and every time she's come down, she immediately looked at her hands. We just saw Alma Bestvater decide not to have another attempt with 30 seconds to go. And I think with 20 seconds to go, we might see the same from Kyra. So interestingly, the route setters made this boulder slightly easier in recognition of the worsening conditions compared to the conditions they tested the boulder in. But Alma and Kyra didn't make much progress. Here comes Miho Nanaka. Pretty big bag of stuff to bring onto the stage.
I've actually noticed that through semis and finals that they've been bringing more and more things on. Looking very strong.
Yeah, cruising up to here.
Just the center of her body, her whole core is just so tight as she's moving up.
So already she's got the zone, which Kyra and Alma couldn't quite manage. And now, showing no signs of struggling as yet. Just needs to figure out what to do with the feet. Good to see that even top climbers use their knees a bit. Taking her time. This is still her first attempt. She's been off the ground a long time, but it is still her first attempt. Just needs to be careful with that right foot. You can see the black tape denoting the edge of the boulder. We've already seen some climbers fall foul of that in the men's final. Now she's found a way.
She was pulling up using the edge of that volume. Like, there's nothing on that. That's just amazing.
It's a reasonably good finish as well. And there we see it, top from Miho Nanaka. Not just that, a flash. So brilliant start to the final for her. Yeah, as I say, the top of that hole is almost flat. It's pretty positive.
Getting to it's the hard part, though.
Yeah, of course. I could definitely top from a foot away from it for sure. Just be the bit below I'd struggle with. So here's Fanny Gibert. We mentioned it earlier. Brilliant top for her on women's 4, which was the slam in the semi-final.
And Fanny just has an amazing way of moving her hips and her center of gravity, which I think is what makes her such a good slab climber.
So what will the method be? It is a slab, but it requires a bit of strength, this boulder, as well. So she's not going to match Mio's achievement of a flash.
Pulled off a flash on her final problem and to bring her through the final tier. The only competitor to stop that problem. There's no stranger to these double.
You can see there gondola 1 behind Fanny Gibert. It's a pretty cool location here in Vail. This is the bottom of the ski piece. It's kind of the focal point of the Vail ski resort. Just keep trying to see the scoreboard from here. Sorry, the timing screen. Just to figure out how long Fanny's got. It's underway again. Taking a pretty long break. Not quite sure of a method that time.
And managing your rests and managing your break is some of the biggest piece of strategy in terms of the competition. Because if you do too many attempts or you do them too close together, you run out of energy. And if you take too long a break, then you don't get enough attempts and possibly don't send.
Yeah, you can see from the fact she's shaking out and taking long rests that it's not without physical difficulty, this boulder. It's not a pure technique slab that you can just inch your way up. It requires a bit of grunt, particularly lower down. So she pulls on again. As I said, she didn't seem 100% about her method earlier on. We saw Miho Nanaka looking so solid on these moves.
Nice stick.
Just about made that one work, Fanny Gibert. Now she's heading up for the zone. Oh, couldn't quite get reset. Slightly frustrating one for her. That's the 3 beeps to signify she's got 1 minute left. The French national champion. Already claimed a podium in 2018. She was 3rd in Taiwan.
She's been consistently making finals for quite a long time now, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's made, before Vail, she'd made 3 out of 5, so 4 out of 6 now. And even in the 2 she missed, she was 8th and 7th. So worst finish in a World Cup of 8th so far this season. Extraordinarily consistent. And really doesn't fancy another go. So interesting. Miho Nanaka came out, flashed the boulder. But Fanny, who's known for her slab climbing, doesn't find a way. To be fair to Fanny, she didn't really manage to make it onto the true slab section. So Kia Noguchi, we've already mentioned her. Either her or Miho are going to win the overall title for 2018. If Akio manages it, she will join Sandrine Lavey as a 5-time overall World Cup champion. Add to that the fact that she's been 2nd overall 4 times. It's quite the career.
I really love these little animated characters. Well, not animated characters, but pictures of them.
They were fun to make.
I bet, oranges and bananas.
Yeah, a few of the climbers have said, well, I didn't realise it'd be shown all season. I said, I told you it'd be shown all season. I don't think it quite sunk in that whatever they did for that 10 seconds would come back to haunt them for the next 4 months.
Well, I think it's fantastic for the fans. We get to see a little bit of character because, you know, they've got game face on when they're up on the wall.
Miho with the banana and Akio with the apple, I
Yeah.
think definitely the highlights.
I was so happy for Akio winning in Tokyo because I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. There was so much pressure on her and she didn't come through, and it was such a disappointing comp for her. So it was just wonderful to see her last weekend.
Yeah, she's just looked frankly unstoppable the last 3 events. It feels like this is the first time that she's not been clearly the best climber at the event. Miho and particularly Alex Puccio running her pretty close so far.
And they're both, interestingly enough, known for their power. Whereas Akio, you know, tries to or tends to style and technique her way through things. Not that she doesn't have power, she has incredible power, but that's not her, I wouldn't say that's her defining characteristic.
She can see the top hold on. Just looked like she was readjusting there. Interestingly enough, that top hold looked pretty much within her reach. I was kind of surprised she didn't just go for that. It's a relatively positive top as well. She obviously didn't feel confident in her feet, and as it turned out, with good reason. One minute 15 left for her. She'll go again. The lower moves didn't look as if they were causing her too many problems. So you'd expect her, as the 3 beeps sound to tell us there's 1 minute to go, you'd expect her to cruise back up to the zone.
Both Akio and Miho both went really far left on that volume. That was the difference, I think, between them and the other competitors.
And she is safely up to the zone. We saw Miho, even though she flashed the boulder, she spent a long time here just trying to figure out exactly how she wanted her feet to be. And are we about to see second top of this women's boulder? I don't think we are. Akio decides against another go. I think rightly so. It'd be a bit of a push to get back up there in under 20 seconds.
Yes, it was interesting watching the guys pushing it out in 20 seconds on a slab. That's ambitious.
Yeah, we saw a lot of quite ambitious late starts in the guys' final. There is Alex Puccio.
Home favorite. You can hear the crowd in the background there going crazy.
So here she goes. Alex Puccio, the local hero, first climbed in Vail in 2008. Ten years on, she's cruising up to the zone.
What's interesting is that the thumb technique has become more of a trend in route setting in the last few years, having to use your thumb instead of your fingers on holds. Even in this comp, we've had a couple of, push up on the slab to a double thumb finish, or basically having the jibs and having the holds for your thumbs instead of your fingers. I think all of the climbers were just getting too strong on the holds, and so they decided that they were going to make it thumbs instead of fingers now.
So Miho Nanaka, regardless of what happens, is going to lead after this first boulder.
She's going to be hungry.
Come on, Alex.
13 World Cup podiums for Alex. I said earlier on she hadn't won Vail. I don't know where I got that from.
That's what I thought she had.
Yeah, I can only apologise. I think it's the heat just cooking my brain. That was her World Cup win, 2009. 11-time national bouldering champion in America. And that's what you're talking about. Thumb working hard.
Looks like she's just going to go for it. Oh.
She was close that time. I think the route setters, they never like to make predictions, but I think they were expecting a few tops on this boulder. And so far, they've just had the one.
I think that's funny. You say you don't like to make predictions,
No,
but you make a lot of predictions.
The route setters don't like to make predictions.
Oh, right.
Oh, I love making predictions. Yeah. Never get them right, but it's all part of the fun.
Yeah, like I was saying before, Alex really likes that crowd energy. She's going out there and asking for everyone to support her. Get the adrenaline pumping.
1 minute to go, the beeps sound.
She's so controlled on this. Like every movement is super precise.
And what will the method be for the jump here? I mentioned it earlier, Miho took a long time adjusting before she got her top. Alex has already touched the top hold, so she'll know it's reasonably good.
Oh. Well
Top
done.
from Alex Puccio. Remember, she doesn't have to grab the top of the hole, she just has to control the top hold. So it doesn't matter that she didn't actually grab the top of it like we saw Miho do. She can just push underneath it like that. Just grabbed her shoulder. I don't think it was significant though, as she walked off.
She'll be happy with that because, you know, her style of problems are still to come.
Yeah, it's a good start from Alex and of course from Miho Nanaka. Flash of the first boulder. So here's Alma Bestvater. This is onto women's 2 on the right hand side of the stage. Complete change of scene from the first boulder. It'd be really interesting to see whether there's different methods used here. I mean, the jump, I have to say, looks like the only way to do it.
And it looks like it's a bit blind. She completely missed it.
Yeah, when you're standing underneath it, we were on the mats earlier on,
Yeah.
you can't see where you're heading for. The hold she's aiming for, the blue one on the black volume, it's right on the corner of the volume, so you can make a pretty educated guess where it is, but you can't actually see it. She just needs to be a bit further left there.
It looks like it's a dual texture hold as well, which means that the edges are really smooth on either side, on either end. So even if she grabbed it on either end, she wouldn't necessarily be able to stick it. Oh,
She's getting closer every time. We've seen a few boulders, particularly in the last few World Cups, and they just haven't quite worked, and there's been one particular move that stopped everyone. This time Alma's getting closer and closer each time. What will attempt number 4 yield? Definitely getting closer on attempt number 4. Let's have another look. This is a replay.
oof.
If she can somehow stop that swing, she will be in business. That was number 5. So 4th attempt was definitely the best one yet. She looked like she'd latched it actually, but swing just took her off. Lots of hard moves on this boulder. It's certainly not over once you do the jump. And again, really solid on that hole, but just can't control the swing.
On that replay there, you can see her hips come out, and just as her hips come out, her fingers pop, and that's what pulls her off the wall.
1 minute 25 to go, lining it up for another attempt. She's burning through the attempts.
Oh, so close. That time her hips were starting to come back in a little bit more, and if she can just get her hips in a little bit more before she reaches that apex with her hands, she'll be able to stick it. Yes!
This time she gets it.
Looks like she got her fingers into the edge behind the hold that time, not just on the edge of it.
So that's the zone. I'm sure the competitors behind the wall heard the crowd cheer.
I'm used to being out in the crowd cheering. It's very hard for me to stay quiet.
It's okay, most co-commentators don't feel that pressure. And she's close there, Alma. I don't think she'll have time to finish it off.
I wonder if she missed the hold around the corner there.
She looked pretty close to it. Oh, sorry, the hold tucked around the corner. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a hold on the arete that it looked like she was going for the next hold on the main face rather than the one around the corner.
Yeah, it's just that shot there.
Yeah,
It should just appear. There we go, that one. Yeah, interesting. I mean, with the climbers having observed the boulders, you wouldn't imagine they'd be missing a hole, but
it did look like she gave it a little glance on the way.
So Kyra Conley, she couldn't get a zone or a top on number 1. What can she do on number 2?
Oh, very close. That was interesting. So she used her arm as momentum. She didn't just use her legs.
As you mentioned about her contact strength, she just corrected that left hand. It looked as if she really hit the sweet spot with the right hand there. It was a very accurate jump. And again, she's using that arm to generate some momentum.
Yeah!
And she's making it work. So, cruising up to the zone. Will she go round the arete? She actually has a proper look at that hold. She dropped back down to have a look at it. Will she choose to use it though? It looks from here as if it would be easier to use it, and now she finds it. 2 minutes 50 left for Kyra Conley. This is a really strong attempt. Crowd are enjoying it. It's a pretty good top hold.
Oh.
And she's just short.
That second last hold is terrible. It's a really, really bad sloper.
Also dual texture as well, so you can't
Yeah.
really adjust on it too much, or you could just creep onto the low friction area.
The top of the wall is, not vertical either. You can see in that replay. That's a full-on sloper. Nice use of her leg there in what I think is called a moon kick. I use some other name that nobody seems to know what it is, but so using the leg that you're going with the same arm, it creates a lot of momentum, but if you don't stick the next hold, you can't. There's no way to control it, especially on a hold as bad as that sloper.
Kyra looked tired when she came down from her last attempt, and understandably. So she's taken a decent long break. And again, using that 3-limb method to generate momentum, and she always looks slightly short on the jump.
That first move is not to be taken lightly.
Such a fine balancing act. Using your attempts wisely, and never more so than at the altitude of Vail.
Require her to give it her all, and that's what Kyra Conley does. She fights hard. Come on, Kyra.
Here she goes. So she's got that jump pretty sorted, it would seem.
Come on, Kyra.
We can see we're just below and right of the wall. We can see the angle you're looking at now, and you can see the fight that Kyra's given this boulder. The right hand's landed, and again she's just short with the left hand.
Nothing to push with that left foot on.
I do wonder if she'll try again, because maybe worth just conserving energy for future boulders. Both attempts have ended with her just short on the left hand. She is going again. That was a replay. This is live. 25 seconds to go. It climbs pretty quickly, this middle section of the boulder.
So what's she going to do differently at the top here? Oh, nothing apparently.
Yeah, that's a shame for Kyra. It was just that last move. Let's have another look. This is one of her early attempts. I think this is the most recent attempt at the top. So Miho Nanaka flashed boulder number 1. What can she do on number 2? We mentioned it earlier, that huge bag of stuff. I'd love to know what's in there. We'll try and find out afterwards.
Good sponsorship opportunity though.
Yeah.
Your name here.
Yeah. It's probably just full of scrumpled up paper. It's just just to get the sponsor logos out there. Well, what a position she'd be in if she could get this one done. And the boulder looks very toppable. I think if Kyra Conley had had a little more time and a little more energy, she definitely could have got it done. Gets a jump first time.
So precise.
Dabs.
Not messing around with, trying to put her feet on the hold, just using the volume.
So you mentioned it earlier about Alma skipping out that tiny hold. Miho chooses to use it. She's already in a position to perhaps top the boulder. Can she make it 2 flashes on 2 boulders? Same as Kyra, just short with the left hand.
That move's really difficult because there is nothing pulling you to the left or nothing that you can push off to push your body left. So they're really trying to do it just with the right hand on a sloper and the right foot on a heel.
Yeah, I wonder what she can do differently, because when you watched Kyra, she got exactly the same distance away from the top hold on the second go as she did on the first. It doesn't look like there's really anything you could change about the method.
Well, the only thing I was thinking is if they could match on the sloper and put a heel on that second last hold.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Again, easy for us to say down here.
Look, just match the hold, chuck a heel up. I mean, come on. Amazingly enough, she's so accurate, the jump doesn't look that far. It was almost a hop because she was just so accurate.
And you'll notice she stayed in really close to the wall. Her hips were in really close to the wall until the very end.
Now
All right, come on.
I think we're going to see exactly the same method again.
She wants to get her heel up there, but it's a bit too far. Oh, nice.
Miho Nanaka makes it 2 tops on 2 boulders. What a start her final is off to.
She's very happy with that, and the crowd is very happy to celebrate with her.
Yeah, this was the jump you were talking about. Immaculately done.
So by the time her hips came out, because she was so close into the wall, by the time her hips came out, she was already on the hold.
And it was a close thing at the top, I think.
She got a good push by putting her foot up really high on that volume.
So what can Fanny Gibert do on this boulder? We know it can be topped, we've already seen it. Scurrying around, still seemingly full of energy, Fanny.
She was just checking out where that hold on the arete was.
Full commitments on the jump, but looked like she was just short. Okay, here she goes. Second attempt at the jump.
Nice.
No problem this time.
She used the same method as Miho, getting those hips in close to the wall and then jumping out.
Burning a lot of energy adjusting on those sorts of holds.
Oh, she wanted to create space to get her heel up. Whew.
Amazing hip flexibility there.
Yes, very much.
And she's in position. Now she is matching that last hole, but
Oh,
yeah. Again, chose to put her right toe down, not the right heel. This was the jump.
hips in and then out. Yeah, so good.
Really neat climbing from Fanny Gibert. This was what should have been the last move.
Oof. The hold is just so bad.
Yeah, as soon as you in any way shift, you are fully committed. It doesn't look, even when you stand underneath the boulder, it doesn't look that far from the second to last hole to the top, and it isn't that far, but as you rightly say, you're just launching from such a bad hold.
She's still got 2 minutes left. Plenty of time.
So shaking out, she spent a bit of time adjusting on the very steepest section of the boulder, taking a bit out of her. Chooses to go for the liquid chalk. I wonder what the tactics will be here. Will she go with enough time to spare if it doesn't work? I think that's what she's going for. She'll definitely have time for 2 attempts. Won't have much time for rest in between them. These jump moves are so hard when you're fatigued. Just that contact strength and ability to pull super hard as soon as you land just begins to disappear.
And these are the kinds of moves that the route setters call low percentage. So they basically expect that you're not going to get it every time. So they're doing it to tire you out. Geez, they're mean sometimes.
So 28 seconds to go. Plenty of time for Fanny Gibert. Just needs to keep it calm, keep it solid. Now, will she match or will she go from here? She chooses to match. Can she get anything out of that left foot?
Come on.
Amazing top from Fanny Gibert. Persistence rewarded. She got there in the end. I have to say, with 50 seconds to go and she'd had a couple of falls on the jump, I really thought that might be it. But she measured her climbing and the time to perfection.
That was just awesome.
It actually wasn't her smoothest attempt at the jump move, but it worked. And you could tell that was last chance saloon when that left hand landed.
Her face says it all, really.
She got it in her 5th go, that boulder. Here's Akira Noguchi. Didn't top the first boulder. Needs to get something here.
Is there any significance in the what their number is? Is it a ranking or is it just random?
I believe it's ranking. She's wearing 1 and Tamoa's wearing 1, which should be John Won Chon's number because he won the overall last year. That's a good question, actually. I'm going to scour the rules now.
Remember, these women haven't been able to touch that second hold before now. They've only been able to touch the start. Gamba Akio.
Oh, using a little bit of a hop there. That was very interesting.
Now she doesn't look as if she's going to use that hold on the left. Now she is. I thought she might have some completely different method in mind. Just slapping her way up the arete. That's the hole she's going for. Oh no, she actually skipped it out.
Don't need it.
Lining it up, Akira Noguchi. She's one of the taller climbers. That hole might look that tiny bit closer. But it also makes it harder because you somehow got to fold your limbs in underneath.
Yeah, she was just searching for something to do with that left foot. Ended up using it to try to get a swing and a bit of momentum, but didn't quite work.
move on that finish, trying to decide on the message that she's going to need.
Well, we talked about how dominant she's looked in the previous 3 World Cups. Really, really needs a top here.
Alex looks excited to come out. She'll be happy that the crowd hasn't gone wild and Akio hasn't gone back in yet.
Yeah, it's interesting on that top move. Akio is much taller than Miho, but she was short on the move.
But like you said, she's got a lot more limb to fit into a small space.
Well, yeah, I wonder if she just couldn't. It was just too much leverage on the feet. Either way, it looks at this stage like she'll get another shot at the move. Will she use that right hand screw on? No, again, chooses to ignore it. Not quite visible from that angle, but we can see from our position she didn't use the hold around the corner.
Oh.
And she's very close that time. Top pads of her fingers touch the top of the top hold.
What's interesting on that top move is I think that Akio was using the bottom part of the volume, whereas when Miho did it, she was able to get her foot up onto a bit which was a bit flatter and actually pushing her in the direction of the final hold.
So this is live, this isn't a replay. She's hopped pretty much straight back on. And she'll set herself again. What will the method be? She uses a toe on her right foot this time, and she is just short. It's an unfamiliar feeling for her over the past 6 weeks or so. Aki Noguchi not topping every boulder in sight, but that's 2 boulders down, and she hasn't claimed the top yet. She's got both zones. She was close. No doubt who the crowd are supporting. The local hero, Alex Puccio.
Alex is right at home on this kind of problem.
No pressure, but the MC's just said she'll feel right at home on this kind of problem. Let's hope for Alex's sake that he's right.
Yeah, I tend to agree with him. It's overhanging, requires compression. She's not always been amazing at the combination jumping moves, but I think she's gotten a lot better in the last couple of years.
Yeah, interestingly enough, she's been training a lot for lead, and she said she's not been doing a lot of jumping, but she looked pretty handy at it in the semi-final and the qualifiers.
Yeah, she did.
Turns to the crowd and says, "Come on, where are you?" And you were saying about the dual texture holes, he was on the right hand end of it, which is where there's no friction. It's quite a big hole, but there's a relatively small sweet spot. There it is.
Nice. Basically caught that one-handed.
So she uses a screw on round the side. She'll now slap with the right hand and set herself for the top.
Nice.
There it is, Alex Puccio. Number of attempts will mean that she stays in a very provisional second place to Miho Nanaka. It's very, very tight. That was the jump. As you say, the left hand wasn't really playing much of a role at all there.
Looks like there was a little bit of a discussion with one of the judges, but she's walking off, so everything must be okay.
Nothing immediately jumped out as being wrong.
All right.
Apologies, the wind's just blown into the commentary box. There's stuff flying everywhere. Let's have a quick recap on the results. Miho Nanaka leading the way after 2 boulders. Hot pursuit is Alex Puccio just behind. Fanny Gibert, the only other climber with a top. Alma Bestvater. Women's 3. And it's that huge grey volume going bottom right to top left that we saw in men's 4 in the semi-final. Still on the wall. This is a deceptively physical boulder. Might not have the big jumps and the hard pulls like on women's 2, but it's all body climbing.
It looks a little bit similar to the women's problem in semis that was giving so many people issues, where it's not immediately obvious what you need to do, and you just got to kind of feel your way out. Let your body do the navigating rather than your brain.
It's one of those boulders that perhaps doesn't come across on the live stream, but pretty much every surface slopes the way you don't want it to slope.
Like you were saying, whole body climbing. I think she's got contact with a lot of her body, not just her hands and her feet on that one.
Yeah, so somehow the climbers have got to get stood up and then end up basically leaning to the right at the top of that grey volume that we've seen Alma on the bottom of.
It takes so much energy just to find these body positions. Climbers only have 4 minutes. There's no doubt that these ladies could run laps on these problems if they had the chance to camp out and figure out all these moves.
What's really interesting in this comp is there seems to have been a trend of turning steep walls into slabs through the use of volumes, and that looks like exactly what they've done here. So the bottom of this wall is actually a steep wall, but because they put volumes on, they've turned it into a slab where the climbers have to push their bodies in to the wall to actually stay on, because they don't have holds with edges that they can sort of pull on.
So she tries again, Alma. Plenty of shouts coming from the crowd. It's one of them where you might not really want to be disturbed. You probably prefer silence, just to come quietly edge your way up.
I think if it was silent, it would be very off-putting.
Alma working so hard to get her weight up over that foot.
Trying to match that hold without pushing herself off. Oh, she does it, very delicate. Doesn't really help though. She's doing a number of attempts in quick succession here. I wonder if she feels like she's not using up a lot of energy.
And deciding against another go. Just coming back to the bibs. Rule 7.6.2 off the top of my head.
No reference sheet at all.
No, no, definitely haven't got the sheet open in front of me. Just went through my robotic memory. The starting order for the qualification round within each starting group shall be as follows. First, any competitors having a current world ranking in ascending order of their current world ranking, i.e. the highest ranked competitor starts first, and second, all unranked competitors in random order. So it's based on world ranking and not current World Cup rank.
Right.
Admittedly somewhat confusing.
I don't think it's consequential to the competition. It was just a point of interest.
No, I agree. It's one of those things I never really thought about. Cara cutting a bit of a frustrated figure. Throws her hands up as if to say, well, I've just got no idea.
Well, as we were talking about before, you know, Cara has really good contact strength, and less, you know, these problems aren't using contact strength, they're using the opposing forces or the thumb or the wraps on the volumes.
She's incredibly strong, but as you say, how much use it is on a boulder like this is questionable.
Nice. It wasn't pretty, but it worked.
Yeah, she now certainly finds herself, I was about to say in a good position, but in a position where progress could potentially be made. It's Kai Lightner, you can't really miss him.
And there, yeah, there's
Foot
the whole
taller than everyone
American
else.
team there.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Coleman there as well. I wonder if Sean's in the audience cheering or if he's already gone and started celebrating.
I'm sure he is. Possibly not out of the question that he's got a cold beer in his hand. So with just over 2 minutes of her time remaining, Kyra on her first attempt looked very nonplussed. Couldn't see how progress could be made. Route setters might be getting slightly nervous about this one. I've seen a few boulders in recent World Cups where the climbers just haven't quite got what's required of them. And Kyra getting increasingly frustrated. There's Mikio Marwem, just behind the orange umbrella. Ray Sugimoto down the front, you can see him with the sunglasses on. Ahmed Torre's just left us in the commentary box. He's a who's who down the front of the wall. So Kyra just, you feel like needs to just somewhat empty her head, because she's looking a bit frustrated.
She's still smiling when she comes off the wall.
Yeah,
though.
she's still having fun. But maybe just needs a bit of a reset. A bit like we saw with Fanny Gibert on women's 2. 50 seconds to go. You wouldn't have bet on her topping it, but you just found a way.
Come on, Kyra, let's make this happen. You can do this, Kyra, come on.
Whole body using the forearm there.
Yeah, every bit of your body's involved in this one.
Back of the heel. That was a reverse heel hook there.
All sorts going on from Kyra.
Come on, Kyra.
That's where it's so difficult because she's on a steep wall, but she's trying to climb a slab. Her body's pushed into the wall and she's got to arch her back out to maintain the pressure on her feet to stay on, but the wall's sloping backwards.
Mio Nanaka, flash on the first boulder, got the second boulder second go. Time starts for her, 4 minutes begins. Can she make it 3 tops? She'd guarantee herself a place on the podium if she can. Was she called down there by a judge?
Yeah, I don't think she tapped her second foot.
Remember, we have got slightly different starting rules this year at the IFSC. You've got to control the starting handholds, but you can just tap the feet. But they do, at some stage, all 4 have to be in contact. Had a few questions about the tape on Miho's arm. Actually, it's not a tattoo. And a few people asking on social media. Tattoos are somewhat frowned upon in Japan, so as I say, they're not tattoos, so it is tape. Now Miho has got it at the right hand side of the volume. Really interested to see if she can get out of that position. proving a pretty tricky one, women's 3 so far. Kyra Conley and our best fighter. No zone or top for them. Miho already had a look at it and looked like she had a good shot at it. And she looks smooth on that first move. She kind of does it all in one movement.
Oh,
Extraordinary power.
so much compression needed there to hold 2 wraps on 2 edges of the volume with your feet coming off.
Well, there we see one of the things that comes in that huge kit bag, bottle of water. And it feels like Miho's time has somewhat flown by. She's only got 1 minute and 20 odd seconds left.
That's a good shot, gives you a bit more perspective on the wall. It actually gets more vertical at the top of the wall. But she's got to get there. Oh,
Somehow hangs on, incredibly powerful position. Now she'll creep her feet up to the right.
there's no holds on that. She's doing that completely with friction and compression.
Oh, this is amazing from Miho Nanaka.
Oh.
And I was about to say that looked a nasty fall, and I think she hit her head on the way down. She did, yeah. I thought, as I say, it looked a nasty fall at the time. She clearly cracked her head as she came down. It doesn't seem to have put her off. They made of tough stuff, Team Japan.
Gamba
12 seconds to go. Just seen her take a nasty fall, and yet it's not putting her off at all.
She's just going for the zone at this stage.
Yeah, time-wise, she's not going to have time for anything else. No doubt in the effort, all the courage from Miho. As she fell off, she hit what looked like a right eye socket, the right-hand side of her forehead on the volume.
I wonder if that's the beta. If bit dangerous to fall off there if it is. Does have that foothold out on the sidewall, which would indicate that, yep, that's kind of what the route setters want the competitors to do.
Now on her third problem for Team France, Fanny Gibert.
So this is Fanny Gibert's third boulder. And again, she's pretty smooth through that lower section. I wonder if anybody will go up and left. I guess it's unlikely from what we've seen.
I think just probably because there's a foothold on the sidewall. It's going to give them a little bit of extra push to get up higher. Also, the bonus is on the right-hand side, isn't it?
The zone.
Yes, sorry, the zone, yes.
It's okay.
New terminology. My mum watching the results come up was very proud of herself because she didn't know that terminology had changed and she Googled it. Was able to teach herself all about the changes in the IFSC rules.
So women's 3, as yet, haven't seen anyone touch the top hold. We've seen Miho Nanaka get pretty close. Getting established up there seems to be one of the crux moves. Mind you, the move above the compression move is no pushover either.
The scrubbers have been doing a very good job at this comp. It's one of the most underrated jobs. So important.
It's Very Aussie term for them, the scrubbers.
Is that not what they're called?
I call them brushers. I know.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Scrubbers is quite a derogatory term in the north of England. You
Oh,
see.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, brushes then.
No, it's fine. I'm sure they don't know much about Northern English slang, so they won't take offence. So Fanny was heading over to the right-hand side of that volume. I wonder what the plan was from there. Or is this just one of those boulders where you just get yourself into one position and then figure out how to move? Maybe don't think too many moves ahead.
Maybe, although, you know, on the ground there she was doing some visualization with her body. So she was obviously planning something. Whether or not she'll change what she does when she gets up there is another matter.
Minute left for Fanny Gibert to find the top. And then we're on to our last two climbers to attempt the boulder, Kia Noguchi and Alex Puccio.
Oh, a nice toe, sneaky toe hook there. Oh.
And another quite awkward looking fall.
And just to confirm, there are no holds on the top of that volume or on the volume that she's going to. It's just volumes.
Get stood up quick there. It's all about losing this volume.
19 seconds to go. That's going to be it for Fanny. So two climbers left. First up, Akio Noguchi.
Coming out now, representing Team Japan, Akio Noguchi.
So Akio was sitting in fourth coming into this problem.
Yes.
So can she change her fate and move up into the podium?
She doesn't miss many podiums. Top here would move her up into third place. I wonder if these lower moves might well be easier for a slightly taller climber.
Well, it didn't really look like it. I thought it looked a bit more difficult for Akio than for Miho. I would think that the press upwards would be easier because she's got more height off that foothold that she's on. Woo, that's an interesting technique. But when because she's actually starting in quite a crunched up position, so moving out of the crunched up position I think would be harder if you were taller, but then the next press would be easier. So it all comes out in the wash.
So nobody's even, excuse me, claimed a zone yet on this women's three. Miho came pretty close. Looks like she's trying a bit of a different method. Her foot's jammed in there. It was pushed on both the heel and the toe, wedged in.
Akio really does go her own way, and most of the time it works for her.
Now the problem is there isn't really anything for her left foot here, so maybe she doesn't need
Very
anything for the left foot. So jabs a foot out to the right. Crowd enjoying this.
Using her shoulder, pushing into the wall just to inch herself up a little bit. Now she's using the front of her chest. Full body climbing, you were saying before.
Now, if she can, free a hand up, get that zone controlled, because the zone could come in very handy regardless of tops. So she's done that. Are we about to see the first top of women's three? She doesn't have to grab onto that top hold, of course, she just has to match both hands on it and be in control.
Oh! Oh, squeezing up her face there, making sure she's got it.
I think she's just checking with the judges. There it is. Yeah, I was about to say, I think her left hand was obscuring the right, and the judges didn't feel they could award the top. They can now. So the boulder is top. No one had even got a zone on it. So Akio Noguchi moves up into the podium positions. Third place right now. Alex Puccio could put herself in an incredibly strong position here. Currently sitting in second with 2 tops. She's only trailing Miho Nanaka on attempts. So she put herself out on her own with 3 tops if she can get it done. We've seen it can be topped. Kia Noguchi, intelligent climbing from her.
Also very, I think, suited to her body. It would be really interesting if Alex did something similar because she's quite a bit shorter.
Come on, Alex, you've got this.
Yeah, I think if she does get it done, it'll be with a very different method to what we saw from Akio. Briefest of taps on the starting foothold from Alex.
Such an awkward looking start. Basically, you use up all your energy on body tension before you even get out of the start moves.
Come on, Alex, you got this.
So yeah, we saw Akio roll over to the right from here. What will Alex do?
Come on, Alex. That foot just wouldn't stay.
240 left. That top from Akio is incredible in real time, but a very strong looking Alex Puccio has just come out and clearly finding the boulder tough. Makes Akio's ascent look even more impressive. She's just staring at the boulder, trying to figure out if there might be some method she's missed, or is there a subtlety she hasn't seen.
You got this, Puccio. We've seen her do it.
So, boulder's been topped. Can Alex Puccio make it 3 tops on 3 boulders? She's got 1:50 to do it. She wants the help of the crowd. You've just got to measure every movement here. What is it doing to your centre of gravity? Where does it leave you for the next move?
That left heel is really high.
Almost made it out into the corner.
Yeah, she really didn't trust that left foot. She didn't want to commit to it. Heading out right was a method that worked for Akio.
Come on, Alex, you got this.
She goes again. She's got 40 seconds left.
Come on, Alex.
Somehow needs to find a way of getting herself over to the right whilst retaining control.
Oh, nice.
And that's how you do it. The problem is the clock on the bottom right of the screen. 20 seconds to go. She's not going to get it done, so nobody else even got a zone. Akio Noguchi topped the boulder.
Puccio saving it for women's 4.
Okay, it's going to be tight on number 4. So Alma Bestvaarter, she can't get onto the podium because even if she tops this, it'll be 1 top and 2 zones. You can see it there. Lowest ranked of the current podium positions is Akio Noguchi with 1 top and 3 zones. So Kyra as well can't make it onto the podium. Can Alma finish with a nice top though?
Number 4, their final problem. Representing Germany, Alma Bestwater.
This is a very interesting looking problem with all of the different blocks holds. You can see any place that it's white, there's no texture, it's just smooth plastic. And any place that it's black, it's a textured part of the hold. So there's a really cool traverse here, which is just toe hooks and working your hands slowly, slowly sideways. So before she can even start moving up the wall, she has to do a very tenuous move along, or a tenuous traverse along the bottom of the wall.
There's a lot of volumes and a lot of moves on this boulder.
It does look like, just looking up at the wall here, it does look like there are actually some holds screwed to the bottom of those horizontal hands. So again, nothing on the top, but using the thumbs.
You can see the blue tape, 4 bits of blue tape denoting where she starts from. So here we are, there the thumb catches underneath that you were talking about. What a tough position to hold. A lot of force going through the hips, back of the shoulders.
Oh,
This time she gets the match on the last one. So there's no friction where her right foot is.
yeah, you can see the rubber marks from where people have obviously slipped off. Don't know if that was the root setters or if they've used it for another problem, but just requires so much body tension to stay in the position, even when your toes are on there, let alone when they're trying to push off a frictionless surface. You can see the sun creeping up onto the mats now. Poor judges are now in the sun as well.
Yeah, it doesn't quite hit the wall, but it definitely hits the crown, it definitely hits the judges. And the sun is savage here. It's actually after 6 o'clock, it's 6:05, but I think yesterday this was the hottest time of the day.
Set number 3 on her final problem of this Vail World Cup. Alma.
Looks like she's got her 2 middle tips taped up as well. That can't help any.
So she made this move last time, she can't get it this time. Looking slightly disconsolate. Our best batter currently in 6th place. Zone here would move her up into 5th.
Come on, Alma.
With 35 seconds to go, she traverses out left. So the left hand's there, the right hand needs to join it. And I think she might have had enough of that one. She has, she heads back in. It'll be 6th place for her after 5th place in Hachioji. So 2 finals in a row, pretty handy week. Here's Kyra Condi. Top would move her up into 4th place. She's going to finish at least 5th.
Oh, look at that pinch strength. Oh,
So this is a pretty good first attempt from Kyra. And that is a tough move up to that zone.
and you can see on the volume there the fingerprints or the finger marks, just showing how humid it is and how much their hands are sweating. that the brushes have just brushed off. Yeah, she's got a determined face on.
Again, studying the boulder. Perhaps wishing those screw-ons was just a tiny bit bigger. Just over 2.5 minutes remaining for her to find something. She's touched the zone. She's not secured it yet.
Where you at, USA? Let's help Kyra Connie out. Come on, Kyra.
Trying to use that frictionless surface there, no texture. Decides against that. Oh, goes for it again and sticks the zone hold. Yeah.
She does stick the zone hold. Well, she'll be awarded that. That's certainly control, but she wasn't able to move from it.
Looks like she was using one of the little tiny holes where the screws go in to hold the volumes on the wall for her foot there. For this level of climber, that's all you need. The tiniest little thing, they can use it. That's why the route setters have to be so vigilant in making sure that there's nothing extra that they can use.
That was a really, really strong effort from Kyra Conley. Second final for her, and it's going to be her best result. We already know that. Previous best result was 6th in Tai'an, China, a month ago.
Come on, Kyra, you got this. Come on.
Minute to go. She's looking tired, but she's looking determined.
Come on, Kyra.
Those hands are so strong. Oh.
So yeah, she's definitely close on that move. There we go. Get the crowd involved.
3 rounds of competition showing up.
Been a tough final set as well. We've only had 6 tops so far across all the competitors on all the boulders.
Kyra's gonna give it her all. Come on, Kyra.
Kyra Conley, she's given it everything today, but she's not going to get that last one, and she will go and join Alma Bestvata sitting off to the side of the stage.
A little bit mean though. They had the guys in the shade. The women are in the sun.
Yeah, no, that is a bit cool. Actually, where the guys were sitting is now in the sun, so I think they'd be in the sun either way, but true.
Come on, Miho.
So
She wants this.
what can Miho pull out of the bag? She is coming into this boulder in first place. One thing to bear in mind, if she gets this boulder done quickly, I know it's a big if, it would be enough to win in the competition. Perhaps. If. Could be enough. Given the fact that she's currently in the lead, if nobody does it, she'll win either way, but top would make it almost certainly hers.
And that's the way you always want to end the competition, with a top.
Yeah, the route setter's got the choreography right in Hachioji last week. What have they got in store this week in Vail?
Oh,
Hangs on to the zone. Can she stay there?
finger jam.
Oh, it's such a painful position to hold.
She's searching for somewhere that has friction.
Oh, you're just trying to get something on your feet. This is a replay of the move. She looked relatively solid on it, but you get tired so quickly hanging like that.
And all of that on her right hand was just pinching with, you know, the friction between her thumb and her fingers on the slopey part of that hold.
Well, we haven't even seen the upper reaches of the boulder yet. Miho's certainly the closest we've seen. She's been awarded the zone. That was on her second attempt. Having a good long shake out. It's a tough move, that. It's even tougher to stay there. You can see pump, fatigue,
And
whatever you want to call it, kick it, yeah, and skin, all becoming an issue.
Miho performed exceptionally well in semis. Continuing it on today in finals.
There we go. She has a minute left of this Vail World Cup. Yeah, I was about to say, she'll surely try again. A lot at stake.
When it's your final problem, you leave it all on the wall. You get back on again, you know, till the very last second. Doesn't look like she's got much left. I think she's doing this for the fans now. Yep, she's done.
So no joy for Miho Nanaka. All she can do now is watch. So it's still pretty open here. Fanny Gibert can't win. Even if she tops this boulder, she'll have 2 tops and 2 zones. That's not good enough to overhaul Miho's 2 tops and 3 zones.
Could she make the podium?
She certainly can.
Yeah, so there's possibly a podium in this for her. She's looking a bit tired.
I'm not surprised.
Yep. Everything's a little bit wobbly, just taking her a little bit out of the perfect place to be.
Takes so much interest for these runners to make that pinch traverse. And they have to explode into that powerful move.
Celebrity crowd.
Yeah, I know the 2 members of Team France down there. Just trying to see how many famous climbers we can see in the front row. It's an autograph hunter's dream, Vail.
I saw you interviewed somebody who was getting everybody's autograph on his hat.
Oh, it's brilliant, yeah.
Oh, she's looking pretty determined. Come on.
Certainly is. Here she goes on the move left. Oh, you can just see in the way she's moving how tough it is just to even stay there. As for the brushers to do their things with half their time remaining. She's got plenty of time for a few more attempts, Fanny Gibert, if it doesn't work out this time.
I think it's at this stage where you start evaluating, am I going for the bonus or am I going for the top?
Or the zone.
Thanks for that. I got to get with the times.
I'm pretty sure I've said it a few times. No, it's true though. It's not as simple as perhaps it used to be. The zones being so valuable now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that has been a trend is the moves before the zone are now more difficult than they used to be.
Come on, Fanny, you can do this.
1 minute to go for Fanny Gibert.
All right, Fanny, come on. Come on.
She just looks like she's got nothing left in her arms. 'Cause it's a big pull off that second volume on the left there. It's a big pull with not really great feet up to a slot that you have to be super precise to get into.
Fanny Gibert with 15 seconds to go. Could not be accused of a lack of effort. But that's her done today. She will finish in 4th place. Doesn't make it the second podium of the season.
Looking a little bit disappointed there.
Down now for Team Japan, Akio.
So now it's the battle for the placings on the podium.
Yes, our podium is decided. The order is not. Miho Nanaka and Akio Noguchi continue their incredible run this season. Alex Puccio will be joining them on the podium, but what will the order be? So, if Akio Noguchi can do this, do the boulder, she will move into 1st place with 2 tops and 4 zones, but Alex Puccio could still take the win away from her. So, Akio can only take care of her business. She just needs to find a top.
I feel like Akio has not really, other than the last problem, had not really had a chance to really show what she's got in this final round. You know, sometimes she's just got so much and she's just pulling it out on every boulder. She really does just do it her own way.
You can see her pinch strength there. It was incredible. Feet cut loose. She looked pretty nonchalant just hanging around.
Does she ever not look nonchalant though?
No. I assume she has got a trying hard face, but we're yet to see it.
Maybe that's a challenge for all the photographers out there. Get
Well,
Akio's try hard
yeah,
face.
exactly. And the setters.
Yeah.
Poor Miho Nanaka, spare a thought for her. All she can do is watch, sitting off to the side of the stage.
But to have moved up into 1st from where was she going into finals? 4th or 5th?
Miho.
Yeah. Sorry, Miho, yeah.
Yeah, Miho qualified in 4th.
Yeah. So, you know, to have moved up into 1st, I think it's a sacrifice that she's got to sit and watch, but it's probably a sacrifice she's willing to make.
Oh yeah, if you can be 6 minutes from the end of the final in 1st place, I think you'll that's a pretty good result. You take that beforehand.
That we could potentially have an identical podium to the men's, Japan, USA, Japan.
Could well do, yeah.
Akio's been on every single World Cup podium this season.
Yeah, MC just reminding the crowd that she's been on every World Cup podium this season. She'll keep that going. Makes things so tight in the overall rankings. Here she goes, moving out left. Zone won't move her up, she needs a top.
1 minute left.
She's only got a minute to get it. It's possible, but it's not very long.
Come on, Akio.
She took a long break between her first and second attempts. Hopefully she's got some saved up for this one. And she's done.
No top for Akio Noguchi. She'll stay in third place. Her run of 3 wins in a row does not become 4.
Coming out for Team USA, Alex.
Okay, so the maths for Alex Puccio, simple. If she tops the boulder, she wins the competition.
Such an awesome opportunity for her here.
And the route setters, as I said, definitely got their choreography sorted. Can Alex do her bit? Last climber out in front of a home crowd, top it to win it. What a finish that would be.
She's got the power. She's got the contact strength. I think she can do it.
Come on, Alex.
Yeah, if she gets a zone, it's still not enough. She'd then miss out on attempts to top. She'd be on 2 tops and 3 zones. She'd miss out on attempts. So it's a top or bust for Alex. And again, the pinch strength required to hold that position. And she looks like she's getting something out of those feet, which none of the other climbers have really looked like.
Oh, so strong.
She is so strong, Alex Puccio.
And really smart there, using her toe on the hold on the underside of the volume.
This is her the best attempt we've seen on this boulder by a country mile. Remember that if Alex Puccio can top this boulder, she'll win the competition.
Come on, Alex. Oh, such control.
The crowd are absolutely loving this. She's to head out right. The top hold is just out of our shot. If she doesn't get it this time, will she have time and energy for the next go?
Oh!
She's made it work. She's topped the boulder. Alex Puccio wins in front of her home crowd in Vail. The perfect finish.
And a flash.
A second week running, the IFSC route setters have got their choreography absolutely spot on. The last person out flashes the last boulder and wins the competition. Alex Puccio, your Vail champion. She knew she got it at that stage.
That was an amazing top.
What an amazing performance from Alex Puccio. A feel-good news story if ever there was one. And there you see it, 3 tops. And again, a route setter's dream. 3 tops for first place, 2 tops for second place, 1 top for third place. Fanny Gibert, a very, very honourable mention with 1 top for her in 4th place. Kyra Conley and Alma Bestvater, the rest of the top 6. We'll have a quick ceremony where the climbers will be introduced, and what a moment that will be. Here they come, Akio Noguchi. Here comes Miho Nanaka. She could only watch as this woman, Alex Puccio, topped the final boulder to win the competition. What an amazing finish to this women's final. And as I say, amazing feel-good story.
And the Miho Akio party has just moved down the podium. Hasn't been broken up yet.
So Miho still hasn't finished lower than second this year. And Akio still hasn't missed a podium. But today, all about the feel-good story of Alex Puccio. Speaking of feel-good stories, I just want to give a shout out to Edward Mills. He's an 8-year-old climber who's just climbed the Old Man of Hoy in Britain. He raised £15,000 for the official IFSC charity Climbers Against Cancer.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So speaking of feel-good stories, there's the second one. Big shout out to Edward. And we will grab a word before we go off air with Alex Puccio. But Tiffany, that women's final, it was a bit of a chess match, a tight one. What a finish.
It was fantastic, and it was right down to the last attempt, last problem, and that's the way you always want it to be. A nail biter right to the end.
Let's have a look at the replay of Alex Puccio. She looks so solid on this move.
Yep, getting her toe on that hold underneath the volume, so she's got a nice squeeze there. Gives her just enough to get up, get her fingers in that slot. Moving up, rocking her weight over onto that foot so she can get up into the volume. Just inching her body over and her hand up to try to get to the hand hold on the side of the volume there. Almost loses it, but just keeps it. And this is fantastic. She's going to a jug, but her body is so wildly out of control. There's just contact strength and body tension keeping her on there. And she's got it.
And appearing right behind Tiffany is a woman who might have even better insight into how it went. We'll just do a quick headset swap, 1 second. Tiffany, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Beers are on me afterwards. Beers are on me afterwards. Alex, just stand up for a second.
Okay.
Sorry, I know you probably need a rest. I can hear you still breathing hard.
Yes, I am.
That was absolutely incredible. Just move this way a little bit for me. This way, this way. There we go. Perfect.
Okay.
Let's have a look if we can at that last boulder.
Oh.
How you feeling? Overwhelmed?
Yes. That getting to zone was so hard.
You look so solid on this
Oh,
move.
it didn't feel solid.
Oh, really?
I didn't think I was going to get it, and I stuck it, and I was like, oh my God, I'm here. What do I do?
No, we saw other climbers get there and basically not be able to hold on to it. You look by far the most solid.
Well, then it was hard getting to the next hold. I was like, don't drop it. You're too tired to do this again.
I actually said at the time, will she have enough energy for another go? Did you really feel like it was this one or not at all?
Basically, yeah, it was so hard to get to bonus. I tried with everything. I knew if I did this boulder, I'm going to win. But you know, the whole experience, I knew I was top 2 before getting on it, and I was happy with that, to be honest. This is more of just like a dream. This is my second World Cup I've ever won, so.
And just tell me what this feeling was like when you latched this right hand.
Well, I calculated it over and over and over just to make sure that I wasn't going to fall. And then I actually asked the judge before I got on the boulder if I could touch those gray volumes to the right, because I know they're the guys climb.
Well, there's no black tape.
There wasn't, but I just wanted to clarify just in case.
So you're back in the competition scene. You're back on the top of the podium. I mean, what can we expect in the lead season?
I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. I've been training like 98% lead right now for the past month. And I guess the bouldering is, I think it's making me a better boulder by making me relax. And I mean, lead, you have one try.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more calculated. I'm trying to be more precise and make every go count. I don't know. I feel like a kid again, like going into a new sport doing lead. It's kind of cool. Like I have no expectations.
Okay, well, we'll let you go. There's a queue of people. What you can't see outside the commentary box, there's about 20 people waiting for autographs, hugs, high fives, you name it. Alex, massive congratulations.
Thank you, and thank you to everyone that helped me get here. So I am totally psyched, and yes, you will see me in more Bouldering World Cups.
Okay, that's very good news. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. We'll see you in about a month's time for the start of the lead season. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.